Some of the biggest stars, not just in the Big Ten, but in the entire country, have decided to come back here to Ann Arbor for another season with hopes of taking aim at a third straight Big Ten championship and a potential run at a national championship. Stars, storylines, and the Michigan football spring game here at the Big House. Next. Welcome into Ann Arbor. We're here at the Big House where it's a balmy 40 degrees. Get the chance to watch the maize team take on the blue team here for the Michigan football spring game. Welcome into the booth. I'm Jake Butt here with my quarterback, Devin Gardner, also the quarterback of the broadcast. We're doing a little bit Manning style today. And, Devin, what an exciting time around this Michigan football team. Returned so many starters of a team that just won the Big Ten championship last season, and we're going to get a chance to see some of these stars take the field this afternoon.
Absolutely. When you're one of the four best teams in the season, and then you bring back a lot of guys from that same season, starting with the quarterback, J.J. McCarthy, that's the most important position. If you can get that one right, I'm just telling you, you can have success on a football field. He comes back. You got Blake Corum, a surprise, right? Somebody that you thought might not come back. He comes back. This team is stacked on both the offense and defensive side of the ball.
He's got Donovan Edwards to compliment him. But, as we look at this roster, if there is one question mark, I think you and I both agree, we're going to have our eyes on that cornerback 2 slot. Will Johnson's got cornerback 1 lockdown, and one guy that stood out this spring, he's gained a lot of praise from his teammates and coaches. That's Amarion Walker.
I went to practice a couple days ago, and I got a chance to watch them, not just practice, but work out, right, in the weight room. And when I tell you, this kid is special, wiry, long, athletic, changes direction. I'm just telling you, that seamless transition that you see those guys on the bottom of the screen that Jim Harbaugh had, I think that this young man can make that same transition.
That's right, Devin. And folks, just a little quick break, and you'll see some real football on the other side of this. Kickoff after the break. Just about time to kick things off here in the Big House. A couple moments ago, Brooke Fletcher caught up with Jim Harbaugh.
Coach, this is the first time fans get to see the upcoming Wolverines, but as far as your players go, what do you hope they can get out of the game here today?
Well, number one, I'm rooting for no injuries. I want to really come out of this as a healthy team. And then just the hard work that they put in to see that realized in game-like experience is going to be invaluable. I want to see them play as hard as they can, as fast as they can, as long as they can, and not worry, just play ball and have some fun doing it.
A lot of guys returning, but also some new faces as well. What sort of value can a game like this bring to those guys?
Well, it's amazing. Every new guy. I mean, we're talking quite a few mid-year freshmen, 9 or so, and then every new person, whether they came by transfer or grad transfer, has been a tremendous addition to the program. And we've seen it through 13 practices already, but to see it today, I have great expectations that those new guys are going to play really well. Josiah Stewart's going to play really good. A.J. Barner's going to be really good. Young guys like Frederick Moore, Samaj Morgan, they're going to make plays. Ben Hall is going to be really good. There's going to be quite a few of those new guys that show out really well today.
All right, thank you so much, Coach. Have fun today.
Thank you.
Guys, I'll send it back to you.
Thanks, Brooke.
Jake, but how exciting is this? Right? It's almost time for kickoff. This Michigan football spring game. Everybody's been waiting to see what is the 2023 edition of this Wolverine football program going to look like. Going to see right now.
All right, Devin, May's team gets the ball first, and Coach Harbaugh just introed some of the young guys he's excited about, a guy that needs no introduction. Under center is J.J. McCarthy.
Yes, J.J. McCarthy, you're going to see him dripped in the all-white because we know exactly how he performs in a game with live action. No need to get him tackled out there, but you're going to see a lot of improvement from J.J. We're going to talk about it throughout the broadcast, how important the new quarterback coach is going to be to him and his development.
And it's a spring game, so we're always on our toes. J.J. wearing the white jersey. Might see him for both teams, similar to what Cade McNamara did last year?
Possibly.
And that's the first snap of the 2023 Michigan football season. Blue defense wins that battle, trying to find a completion over the center to Cornelius Johnson. But as you look at this next step forward for JJ, you talked about it in the intro. He's the proven starter. No one's in competition. We know he's going to lead this team. What kind of things does he need to do to take that next step forward, Devin?
I mean, just keep developing, right? Because you got to think about it. Last year, he was still a young guy, right? Just a sophomore. Now, he's a junior. He's been in the program. He's had a whole spring as the guy. And I think you're going to see vast improvement. When I talked to him earlier this week, he said, Dev, you know, I haven't won a spring game. Right, and obviously last year he had gone through surgery, so he didn't get a chance to participate, but I believe he was on the losing team anyway, and so he's coming out to prove something, right? He's coming to prove that he can win himself a spring game here and get some bragging rights inside that locker room.
Well, not just bragging rights. There's stakes on the line, literally and figuratively. Yeah. So the winner of this game, this is what we're playing for. The winner gets a steak. The loser, they're eating hot dogs, so I know what I'd prefer.
No, 3rd and 5. This is something that, you know, Michigan's offense did really well with 3rd and medium, right? You can pass or you can run, and J.J. McCarthy's legs are usually in play. Boy, does that 88 look familiar. Is that Jake Butt out there? I don't know.
I always got love for my guy 88. JJ does a nice job here. It's off coverage outside, and that's Matthew Hibner, the tight end. So not a lot to read there for JJ. He knows he's got a hitch route, easy pitch and catch, and moves the chains.
So you have a hitch route outside, get the ball, catch and throw, right? Footwork is so important. That's something that JJ sometimes struggled with last year. That's great improvement, seeing catch, get the ball out, don't waste any time. One thing we're going to miss out on, I think, is JJ's running ability, right? Because he knows it's up to the referee if he would have, and I'm doing air quotes, you can't see me right now, I'm doing it, if he would have gotten tackled, right? So that's a play where he's in the read option game, and he could pull the ball, and we know that he is dynamic with his legs, and he's able to make plays outside the pocket.
Right, and that's what Coach Harbaugh said with Brooke to start the game, too, is, hey, he just wants everyone to play injury-free. I don't think anyone should get within 2-3 feet of this quarterback. It's a nice play by Chris Jenkins off the backside of the offensive line. And
yeah, he's an honorable mention, all Big Ten player from a year ago. And you can see him. He just sees that tight end pulls. You get right on that hip. You follow him down the line of scrimmage, and you make the play on Leon Franklin out of Southfield High.
Yeah, they're trying to run the outside zone to the left, so they think, hey, we'll leave that D tackle unblocked on the backside. But Chris Jenkins, not only is he big, he can move, and that tackle now forces a 3rd and long situation. You got to expect a pass here. Then.
Yeah, absolutely. 3rd and long. This is something that they want to continue to work. Situational football, you know better than anybody, Jake. It's so important.
Oh.
That's just a miss.
Yeah.
That's a miss.
That's a present for Quentin Johnson,
that's
the safety back there. And JJ, as he stepped up in the pocket, he had Marlon Klein, the tight end, on a dig route. No one around him. You're going to see this pocket. Look at him come on the right side of your screen. That's wide open. Looked like that ball came out strange. Maybe someone got a piece of it.
Yeah, you don't see JJ usually throw balls that aren't spirals. Like he got his elbow hit a little bit, and Harbaugh's not going to be happy about that. But that's just a flanker drive concept, something he knows, and he just misses that throw.
He's still smiling. If you got to make a mistake, it's in the spring game, but now it's the blue team's chance to go down and try to score.
Jack Tuttle.
So you mentioned there, Devin, that's Jack Tuttle, and for Michigan fans that might be unfamiliar, he's had quite the journey. He started off at Utah, then came to Michigan by way of Indiana, and he was actually a captain at Indiana. He's an experienced guy. As this spring game starts to unfold, this is one of the storylines I know we're both looking at, is the quarterback depth.
Yeah, of course.
Blue team's got Jack Tuttle. May's team, when JJ's done, it'll be Davis Warren. numbers right here. So there's Tuttle's numbers in his career. Davis Warren obviously came in and had some opportunities in cleanup time for Michigan last year. What are you looking for in this quarterback battle today, Devin?
I love it. You know, I've been in a fierce battle for the number 2 spot, right? It's something that you kind of get behind each other, and obviously Tuttle's going to have to learn a lot from Davis Warren, who's already been here. But Tuttle has come in. He's earned the respect of his teammates. Like you talked about, a captain at Indiana, he's a leader, and he's somebody that can really vie for that number 2 position.
Another position battle to watch is who's that running back 3 slot, and that's Khalil Mullings converting. Now we got a flag on the play.
You got a legal shift down there, and so that's something that you should look for with Tuttle, where he just got to the program kind of in the spring, and he's still trying to figure things out. The motions, the shifts. We know that Michigan's offense is based in that, right? They use their motions and their shifts to try to throw the defense off, and so sometimes the cadence may be just a little bit off as he continues to get comfortable with the new group of guys.
After the penalty, be 3rd down and 6.
So that puts him back now 3rd and 6. Went from a running situation clearly to Mullings, and now you might expect a pass.
Right, I love that fake snap, right? You know you're going to have pressure off the edge, and so you can now get a play in. Zeke Berry is coming off the edge here from the bottom of your screen.
That's Colston Loveland, and as we look at this guy he really came on so strong in the last part of the season. He had a touchdown against Ohio State, big back shoulder at Purdue, and that time Tuttle finds him in one-on-one coverage.
Jake, I'm just telling you, when you can line your tight end outside, you know all about this, and he can run a 9-stop, run 9 yards down the field, stop your feet, and get a corner off of you, and you can put that ball on time. Nice throw by Tuttle, but outstanding job by Loveland, creating space for his quarterback to get the ball in there.
And you mentioned a key part there is normally it's a linebacker or a safety on him. That's Jaden McBurrows, who is a traditional cornerback, and Tuttle's running a traditional receiver route. Colston Loveland running the traditional receiver route. And man, I'm really excited for him, Devin. I think he's looking for a breakout season here in his sophomore year.
Well, that's the issue with a guy like that. You don't know who to put on him. Do you put a linebacker where he's going to dominate him with his skills and ability to run, where you see Tuttle using his ability to run and get down after a nice gain? But for Loveland, do you put a corner on him, right, where he can just out-muscle him like you saw in that last play? But if you put a linebacker, he's going to be too quick and too fast. So he is a matchup nightmare and somebody that I think is going to get used in this game quite a bit.
Ball to Lee's 43-yard line.
I love this 2nd and short, right, Jake? 2nd and short, you have an opportunity to either run the ball or pass the ball. You know they love to run the ball, but I wouldn't be surprised to see a play action here and get this ball down the field. Maybe they should have, huh, Jake?
Yeah.
Maybe they should have went a little play action there, huh, Jake?
And that's the same thing as Chris Jenkins on the last drive. That's Jalen Harrell coming off the edge, and they might want to block those backside guys. But let's take a look here at the Michigan tight ends. The key departures, Schoonmaker's off to probably a 10-year career. Joel Huntingford, he was a great blocker. Eric All obviously transferred to Iowa. But look who they bring back. Colston Loveland, like we just talked about, breakout season. Max Bredesen did a little bit of everything, and then a key newcomer. Tuttle's teammate at Indiana is A.J. Barner.
Yeah, I mean, I think this tight end group is going to be led, obviously, by Loveland in his pass-catching ability. You can see him at the bottom of your screen here in the slot. Probably going to get across the field here.
All right, so is the quarterback live? I guess we're kind of learning this all on the fly for the spring game. So
the
JJ's not
quarterback's
live.
alive. Okay. JJ's not live.
JJ, okay, that's a clear line.
So when you see a quarterback, we saw early in this drive where Tuttle gets out on the run and slides, he's live. He knows he doesn't want to take any of those hits. But the play just is not allowed to develop. He doesn't have enough time. And so you have to know that these offensive linemen are mix and match, right? There are guys that maybe haven't played together as much because of the draft nature of this game. So they're not going to have the cohesiveness that you need to get long protection.
It was a nice play by Jalen Harrell, too. He made the tackle for loss there, and then in a 3rd down situation, another storyline we're watching. Who's going to step up at edge rusher? And Jalen Harrell was nice and disruptive there in that last play.
30 tackles, 3.5 sacks a year ago. I really like Jalen Harrell.
And Jack Tuttle, really nice job. He seems so comfortable in the pocket. Went to his first read, it wasn't there, kind of clutched it and found a nice soft spot in the zone to be able to move the chains and convert.
Jake, when you lined up at tight end and you knew those linebackers couldn't run with you, did you know I was throwing you the ball all the time up the seam?
I would try to witness you in my stance.
You got a big guy.
I was always open, though,
You've got a big guy running down the seam. Give him a chance, because the thing is, you have to play through him if you're the defender, right? The safety has to get through his body, and he's just not able to do it.
on that seam route, did you notice who it was? It was A.J. Barner. So Tuttle comes from Indiana, A.J. Barner comes from Indiana. Those guys are very familiar with each other. We live in the transfer portal world of college football now. And we'll introduce and we'll talk about some transfer guys, some new pieces. But one thing I noticed as we were studying this roster is A.J. Barner was a captain at Indiana. Jack Tuttle, captain, a guy we won't see today. Drake Nugent, Ladarius Henderson, two guys that are transferring on the offensive line. So Michigan's not only getting high-quality players, but leaders as well, former captains at their respective universities.
Love it. Love the decision making. You see this play in college football quite a bit where you have the quick bubble screen, you fake it, and then you bluff, right? You bluff block, you run down the field. If it's not there for a quarterback, you don't want to force things down the field. And for a stage like this, Tuttle, who's in a battle, you want to make sure that you see him not force things into coverage. He does a great job. He doesn't get what he wants. He doesn't waste too much time. He throws the ball, hits the side of the stadium, and then lives to fight another down.
Yes, it's not just about what you do. Sometimes it's about avoiding those big mistakes. And a great job by the Mays defense covering the routes down the field. And Tuttle, great job of being aware and giving him a chance here on third down. And this is something Michigan did last year, where most teams, 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, they're thinking pass, but Michigan gave it to Khalil Mullings, and they're getting in that big heavy set, all tight down. Traditionally, this means a run right up the gut.
Yeah, he was introduced to us a year ago as the big power guy to make sure that they get those short yardage situations and they can convert.
They gave it to him here. They gave it to him. Khalil Mullings came in as a linebacker, needed some depth at running back last year, and really seamless transition. Blake Corum staying warm on the sidelines. Got the chance to talk to him at some events last night at the pep rally today. And, he had that offseason surgeries next there to Donovan Edwards, who's also rehabbing an injury. Both those guys are on track to be healthy in the fall. And am I going off on a limb here saying that's the best running back room in the country?
I mean, it has to be, right? But you know what I love so much about Blake Corum? His leadership, his ability, obviously. But when I talked to him, he said, I'm coming for everything out there, right? And this is coming from a guy that won the silver football, right? There's not too much more he can do, and you just love his intensity. He said he's gained 10 pounds of muscle, right? That's a much bigger, stronger guy, and you know he's going to retain that speed. I'm excited to see him play in this offense as well.
Certainly a special player. To me, I thought he was the Heisman frontrunner. The Heisman was up for grabs last year.
I'm just going to go out on a limb and say he would have won the Heisman.
I would have said, yeah.
If he has the performance that it was had in that Ohio State game, he is going to win the Heisman going away. Maybe that's what he's coming for, huh? Came back for a Heisman.
Heisman, three-peat, it's all on the table for him. So far on this drive, the blue team has done a good job of moving the chains. Sometimes on third down, sometimes on fourth down. And
I think they show great balance, right? And this is super important. I'm just telling you for Tuttle. He's shown that he can run the offense, right? He's had an opportunity to make a big mistake. He guarded against it. He's had an opportunity to drive the ball down the field up the seam. He's done that, right? He's used his legs a few times and protected himself. So, because if he gets in the game, right, that means that there's been an injury at quarterback, right? You do not want to lose two quarterbacks in the season. You saw it in the NFL with the 49ers.
As you mentioned earlier in the drive, 3rd and 5, it's all on the table. This could be a run or a pass. Let's see what they go with.
Mesh concept. I like mesh here, right? I want to get Loveland across the field. Or Tuttle down the field.
And they gave.
I think they're going to give it to him. I think he got it. I mean, that's awesome, right? Because when you get him in the game now, right, you don't have to change the way you play offense, right? You know that JJ is a dynamic runner and obviously a big arm when he passes the ball down the field. But for Tuttle, you see him running and being able to do those same things. Now the offense doesn't truly change, and that's what you really want to look for when you have a backup quarterback. He wants to emulate what your starter already does.
He's looked really comfortable, especially his pocket awareness, not forcing anything, knowing when to throw the ball away, and showing the complete package using his legs on this drive.
Like that. A little stick there from Zeke Berry, right? The defensive back coming down and making a play. And in this situation, right, a lot of times you're going to have most of the defenders covered up, and that free guy is going to be the safety. And if the safety can make the tackle, now you win and you add numbers. So that's a nice job by Berry, getting in there and making a tackle on a big, strong back.
These past couple of years, Michigan's defense has formed an identity. If you don't want to hit, if you don't want to get physical, it doesn't matter what else. You won't see the field.
That bunch formation, right? That always says crossing patterns, picks. Or if it's Michigan,
or just give it to your former linebacker.
I don't see why not, right? I don't see why not. I mean, that's Michigan football. That's what we've seen the last years. Obviously, this past year, they put in the air just a little bit more, but this is what we see from Michigan football.
Yeah, and that's a great job. That's Raheem Anderson there at center with Giovanni Al-Hadi there to the left, and they created a nice crease. I mean, any running back could have ran through that, but you got a freight train in Khalil Mullings, just full steam ahead, baby, right down through the hole. There's his buddy Blake Corum. He's loving it.
You know the cool thing about those two offensive linemen that you mentioned? Both Michigan guys run at Sterling Heights Stevenson, and another one played at Cass Tech. I mean, those are two guys that know exactly what Michigan football is all about. It's their dream to play here, and now they get to block for guys. Blake Corum's like, hey, listen, you lose a couple linemen, we need to move those guys out of the way they used to. So when I get back.
Well, there we have it. Blue team, first one to score, up 7-0. We'll see if May's team can respond. That's a 16-play drive, a full drive, 68 yards, ending with a Khalil Mullings 6-yard touchdown. So spring games are always interesting. You never quite know, but here's the format we're working with today. It's going to be a true game style, 12-minute quarters, 2-minute break at the end of the first and third, a 12-minute halftime. We will see some special teams. There will be live kicks and punts, but no attempts from blocking and no returns. So
those 2-minute breaks at the end of the first and third, Jake, I heard a little birdie through the grapevine that you were going to go down and do backflips. That's what, is that, no?
No. You know, with my knees, I need a warm up. I might need a knee brace. Yeah, I'm gonna hang out. I love hanging out with you up here in the booth, anyways.
I just thought that maybe, you know what I mean. But we're gonna get a chance to see JJ and get another opportunity. When I talked to him, I said, man, how much are you gonna play, right? Because a lot of times you see these games, it's like the quarterback just doesn't play as much, especially with the backup quarterback battle brewing. He said, I want to play the whole game. I don't know if they're going to let me, but I want to play the whole game. And you just love to see the competitor.
Number 93, Charlie Mentor, set to kick from 2.
And he'll get a chance to respond to, obviously, a frustrating. The ball sailed on him on the last drive. He never wants to throw an interception. But I think what you said about JJ is what Michigan should give Michigan fans so much confidence going forward. It's clearly he's a talent, former 5-star, but it's his competitive nature, and I didn't expect him to play in the spring game. I thought they were going to let the two guys duke it out for the backup spot, but like you mentioned, J.J. McCarthy, man, he's a competitor. He's got the locker room on his side. And he's going to go back out there and try to compete.
Yeah, and this new quarterback coach that they have, Kirk Campbell, I remember last year going to a practice in the fall, right, or in the summer, and talking with the legendary Fred Jackson.
Oh, that's right.
And he's talking to me. He had just come back to the program. He said, listen, if you want to know something about this offense, you talk to that man right there. And he's pointing that Kirk Campbell knew everything. So it was a natural transition to get him as a quarterback coach. And so one thing you're going to see from JJ last year, a lot of times relied on talent. Such a talented young man. Sometimes feet out of place, eyes not quite in place. And it was more of doesn't know what he doesn't know. Well, now he knows, right? Coach Campbell has done a very good job of helping retool his skills as far as his footwork and his eyes are concerned.
And alongside that, Devin, I was talking to some of the receivers, some of the tight ends yesterday, and just asking them about Kirk Campbell. And you know, Sharon Moore, he's the offensive coordinator, he's the offensive line coach, but Kirk Campbell will be involved in the pass game portion of this playbook. And they said, hey, expect some wrinkles. They're really excited about what he's going to bring to this offense.
Oh, that's what we're used to, right? That's what we're used to, and that's an outstanding route by the veteran Cornelius Johnson, another guy who contemplate maybe moving on to the next level. You get play action out of the pistol, and JJ knows exactly what he gets. He moves in the pocket, and he drives that ball on the outside. But Cornelius Johnson had Walker in a blender. We've seen Walker and how talented he is, but that's an older guy at wide receiver saying, hey, young pup, you stay there, and I'll make sure you know where you are. All right, now, Jake. That's one quarter, baby. That's one quarter of ball. You see Cornelius Johnson on your screen. You're going to see a lot more from the maize and the blue when we come back. Welcome back to Ann Arbor. The blue team's leading the maize 7-0. But let's go down to the third member of our broadcast, Brooke Fletcher, who is on the sideline with Blake Corum. Brooke?
Yeah, guys, I'm here with running back Blake Corum, or should I say Coach Corum? I saw you over there talking to the running backs. How does it feel to be on the sidelines just kind of coaching the guys up?
That feels good, just being out there again in the big house, one more year there with my guys. Feels great. I'm Coach Corum for the day, getting my guys right, just trying to get this dub against Coach Hart.
Oh, there's a competition here going on. What's your biggest piece of advice to them as coach?
I'll just have fun. Do what you guys have been doing all spring. No MAs, play hard, play angry, play aggressive, and really just keep doing what you're doing. Have fun. That's what I told them.
Let's talk about player Blake Corum in this offseason. What has been the biggest priority for you? We saw you bench pressing. It seems like you're getting your strength back, huh?
Feeling stronger than ever. Now it's just day by day. I'm not trying to rush it. Sometimes I can get ahead of myself, but just day by day, making sure my knee's right, and then just coming back for the comeback.
You had such an exceptional season. Obviously, it ended quicker than you had expected, but you could have gone to the draft and had a successful NFL career. But why was it important for you to come back and be back with your team?
There's just more left that I want to do, and this is like I told other people, not only on the field but in the community as well. So we have more that's on the plate, and I'm just trying to finish it off, with the, winning the national championship, winning the Big Ten again, just beating Ohio State again, just everything. I'm coming for everything. I left some things out there, so I'm excited to be back. That's why I came back. I love Michigan, love my team, and I think we can get the job done. So yeah, that's it.
Looking ahead, this offense, there is so much depth at every position, but this backfield between you, Donovan Edwards, the guys that you were coaching up, how dangerous is this backfield going to be?
It's very dangerous. It's very, very dangerous with Donovan, myself, the other running backs. We have a great room, and then we have one of the best coaches, a legend here. So, it's great. It's going to be very dangerous.
JJ, he is the guy coming in to this season, right? He's going to be the starting quarterback here. Just describe, how you've seen him grow in his position and just the chemistry you guys have really developed.
Oh, he grows each and every day. He attacks every day. He's in there watching film and just, being the best he can be. Oh, we got the ball. But, he's being the best he can be. I see the progression. I see the progress he's making. And he's great. I'm excited to see what he does.
All right, well, you got the ball, so you got to go back and coach your guys. I'll let you go. All right, guys, I'll send it up to you.
Hey, thanks, Brooke. I would have loved to get Blake, man, can we get you? What happened with the ball security there?
Hey, man, that's an outstanding tackle by Jones, getting down, getting underneath Leon Franklin. And Leon Franklin, he has decent security, but that ball pops out, and that young man loves it. Right, that blue team is fired up on that sideline, and when you get a turnover, sudden change, anybody? Right, sudden change, maybe take a shot here? Or not.
Well, listen, that's a big storyline here, too, is we see Blake, we see Donovan. Neither of them have been playing. They've both been injured throughout the past season, and they're going to get a heavy workload this fall. So the question is who's going to be that running back 3? And Leon Franklin was in that mix, but as we saw with C.J. Stokes last year, ball security is absolutely imperative.
Yeah, that's the easiest way to get yourself in the doghouse.
You just can't do it, right?
Yeah. That's the easiest way to get yourself in the doghouse and essentially take your own reps away. It's putting the ball on the ground and putting it in jeopardy.
So we got Jack Tuttle scrambling. Now we got Davis. There's that Jack Tuttle again. Right? Got Jack Tuttle again scrambling.
Yeah, it's pretty confusing.
He looks pretty good on his feet, right?
I'm telling you, man, I was at their workout, and Omarion Walker and all these guys, Alex Orji, who we're going to see later, they were so explosive running with the sleds and things like that. This guy, Tuttle, he's got abs. He is sprinting, and he hit about 18 miles per hour. 18 miles per hour as a quarterback, that is significant, and I think that his running ability is something, like I talked about earlier, that's really going to help him become the backup quarterback.
Break that tackle, and it might be sayonara, but so far, Jack Tuttle, for just getting on campus as a transfer, looks extremely comfortable in the offense. Looks extremely comfortable playing the quarterback position. His pocket presence already led the blue team to 7 points, and once again converting first downs and has them driving now in plus territory.
Well, you said earlier in the broadcast, he was a captain in Indiana. Let's not act like this is a guy that just comes in and doesn't have that leadership background. He's a guy that knows how to lead. He knows how to learn the offense, and he's coming in and he's acting like he owns the place.
Where's a quarterback most, where's he most important for him? 3rd and 4th down. He's got him 3 for 5 on 3rd down so far.
I like that. It's a nice hit down there, right, Jake? You gotta love when it's violent, right? Football is violent. It's clean, but it's violent down there. And Mulling's a big guy, and you're gonna have to gang tackle him, and that's what the Mays team did there. Gonna bring up a 2nd and long, right? And so this is where these are the places you want to stay out of, right? On 1st down, you want to get yards. You don't want to be in 2nd and long situations for any offense, right? They call it staying on schedule, right? You want to stay on schedule and make sure that you have those down and distances that are conducive to success.
That's Benjamin Hall, the early enrollee in at running back. And that's Zeke Berry.
Zeke Berry's making plays, man.
We were just complimenting Tuttle on his awareness of not making any mistakes, and that's just a throw he doesn't need to make. And Zeke Berry says, yeah, I'll take that gift, baby. I'll wrap that one up and get the ball back to the Mays team.
And on that play, right, he has the hot, right? He has the hot open there, but he doesn't take it, right? And that's the maturation that he's going to have to use as he continues to get better in the offense. But you cannot desperately avoid a sack, right? Just throwing the ball up. I don't know if you remember or not, Jake. Remember Notre Dame 2013 in this back end zone here where I'm running around, I'm trying to throw. You're trying to do the right thing, right? You're trying to throw the ball away, but you get hit at the same time. Now it pops up, and the other team has the ball.
Sloppy start for the Mays team. Sloppy start for the Mays team so far. Started with an interception, then a fumble, now a drop. See if JJ can rally the troops here. And that's Christian Dixon that dropped it.
2nd and 10 for the Mays, 41-yard line.
And you got to remember, guys, these groups are mix and match, right? Guys from the 2s, the 3s, some guys are sitting out, right? So you're going to see some of that sloppy play that you're talking about, but you don't want to see drops, right? Easy drops. You don't want to see easy reads missed by your quarterbacks. You want to see clean football, but you're going to have some of that. And there's a sack.
And that's and welcome here to Ann Arbor. That's Josiah Stewart by way of Coastal Carolina. He transferred in, and big story is who's going to be the next great edge rusher for Michigan. Mike Morris was gone. We saw Hutchinson. We saw Ojabo. Well, Josiah Stewart is a new name and a new face. A couple years ago to Coastal Carolina, he was 5th in the nation in sacks. He had 12 and a half, and Coach Harbaugh mentioned him in pregame. He's the next up. And what do you see here, Devin? A long, long list of great Michigan pass rushers.
Yeah, and this is just recently, right? These are guys that have played recently and been successful and actually going on to the next level. And I think that Josiah Stewart could be in that same mode. A nice athlete, and you can see him right now running J.J. McCarthy down, right? That's going to be a sack. And luckily it's going to be a sack because it would have been a nice catch for the Mays team. But Josiah Stewart, when I talked to everybody in the locker room, they said that he is there and he's playing and he's learned the defense as if he's already been there, right? It's like he's already been their teammate. And I think it's some of it maybe because of Samerstiel, right, who is his former teammate in high school. But you can see him there, the speed and the athleticism. That's why he was able to get to the passer so many times.
Yeah, Devin, you mentioned that Samerstiel, he was his high school teammate here, and he takes a lot of credit for getting him here to Michigan. He said, as soon as I found out that he was going in the transfer portal, I contacted the coaches. I said, we have to get this guy. He even called Josiah up himself. He said, listen, if you could get 12 or so sacks per year in the Sun Belt, you could have 7+ here against some of the best programs in the country. Your ceiling is high here. Come be a part of a legacy and come win a championship with us. And clearly, it worked.
Yeah, that's good. That's good stuff, Brooke, because we know how talented a receiver Mike Samerstiel is, and we know how talented Agent Zero, right? He kind of changed his personality as a defender, but obviously he's a really good recruiter too, right? Because that's going to be a player that's really going to help that defense.
To me, I was wondering, you don't pass it on 3rd and 27, especially with the way the protection's been. 2 straight sacks, a holding. Obviously, just got to run the halfback draw, live to fight another day.
JJ's having a long day. JJ is having a long day with that Mays offense, and one time, kind of his own fault, but you get a fumble and then you get a 3rd and 27. I mean, what play do you got in your playbook for that, Jake? I mean, you might want to be an offensive coordinator.
Well, I
someday.
throw it to the tight end, probably.
Throw it to the tight end for sure.
Throw it to
tight end screen.
Yeah,
What about the throwback?
something.
Remember throwback? Maybe Ohio State 2013.
Yeah.
We talked to Quorum earlier, and he talked about how he's just been working and trying not to do too much. I don't know, man. This might be too much. Take a look at this. Count on 1, 2, 3. You can hear. Is it 135 or is it 225?
Get his buddy Donovan Edwards loving it. I mean, I don't know what that'd be top at the combine had he left. He could have left.
Jake, what makes this so important? He's going to get to 30. It's when you have a lower body injury, you've had it, right? You've had a number of them. I've had it. When you're benching, they don't allow you to press against the ground, right? You got to keep your legs from using your legs. And to be able to get 30 reps that clean without even using his legs, I mean, he said he's gotten stronger. He's put on 10 pounds of muscle, and we can see how.
And that's Jack Tuttle back to his old buddy A.J. Barner. So the two Indiana teammates, they've hooked up a couple times today. And once again, Tuttle seems very comfortable taking what the defense gives to him, gets him into a second and favorable situation. So far, it seems like this game is in complete control for the blue team.
You always want to see how a quarterback, and technically a young quarterback in this offense, how he responds from a mistake, right? On the previous drive, he throws an interception, falling back, getting hit, and it's a bad interception. How is he going to respond? And I love the play call, getting him with a completion, an easy completion early so you can get this drive started. And then a nice run from Mullins, rumbling and bumbling and stumbling. My goodness.
Well, I mean, he kind of came onto the scene last year. He's just converted to running back and used him mainly in short yardage situations. He had the legendary jump pass down in Columbus, but now with another year under his belt, he's got the touchdown already, a couple really nice runs. But once again, what stopped him is leaving that backside defender unblocked. Michigan loves to pull their offensive line around the edge. They then leave that backside defender. That time it was number 8, Derek Moore, unblocked. But this defensive line for Michigan is so athletic. They're able to run down those running backs and make those plays.
And Jake, let's be honest here, right? These guys have been playing against each other in this offense for a very long time. And in the spring game, it's going to be a vanilla version, right? Obviously, we know how intricate and complicated the run game for Michigan is, but they're going to be very vanilla on television. So those defensive linemen are like, I know when that guy is pulling, I'm getting on his hip, it's going to take me to the ball. They're cheating, is what they're doing. You know defenders love
Depends
cheating.
who you ask, right?
They know, yeah. The defenders say, I'm just doing my job. And, you're cheating. You know what we're doing.
And that time, that's Cole Cabana. So he's out of Dexter, Michigan, another early enrollee, another guy that's in there trying to compete at the running back position. And the new face too. I mean, we talked about a number of transfers. That's Ernest Hausman, was a linebacker in Nebraska last year, kind of burst onto the scene later in the season, and now he's part of a really deep linebacker room. It's Junior Colson starting, but the question is who starts next to him? Michigan fans, you're going to want to get to know that name, number 15, Ernest Hausman.
And 24 in the backfield right now, that's Danny Hughes. Cole Cabana also wears 24. That's the trouble with college and spring ball. Also wears 24. He's a freshman that came out of Dexter. He won't be playing today, dealing with a lower body injury. But Hughes, Danny Hughes is 24.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah.
That's for Sean Benny. And now I'm going to show a little love for Sean Benny. You want to know why? Because he played for my high school coach. Greg Carter, legendary coach at Inkster High, now at Oak Park. Rayshawn Benny was a talented player. He was originally committed to Michigan State, but flipped his commitment because he's a much smarter man than a lot of other people that commit to schools. He's done a very good job of developing. He contributed some last year, and this is a year where he thinks that he can really take advantage of opportunities from guys that went on to the next level.
He had that pressure Stroud late in Columbus and was able to force that interception right before we saw the Edwards house call. So Rayshawn Benny is one of those guys that'll be replacing Mozzie Smith. But you talked about it, that strong interior for Michigan. Mozzie Smith is gone, but there's a handful of guys that they're excited about. Mason Graham, we heard about him in spring last year as an early enrollee. Yeah. He really burst onto the spring. We just saw Rayshon Benny make a play. Chris Jenkins is a veteran guy. He's been talked in the same light as Mozzie Smith. And then Kenneth Grant, first overall pick, an interior guy in the draft, first overall pick. They can do it all. They're big, they're strong, but they're all quick and fast, too. They're tough to move there in the middle of the defense.
Yeah, and so there's a strategy when you're in the draft, right? There's a strategy of why you pick guys and why you take an interior guy. And so maybe we'll talk to Brooke a little later. She got the inside scoop. Brooke, what do you have for us? You got the inside scoop on why an interior guy was taken first.
Yeah, guys. Okay, so you know there has to be some sort of strategy, right, when you have a draft. And so when it came to Kenneth Grant, they wanted to draft somebody first overall that can go the entire game, somebody that can go all 4 quarters. So when you're talking about a guy like Kenneth Grant, that is why he went first overall. There's a lot of hype surrounding him, a lot of promise. This is a guy that you really need to keep your eye on, and that's why he went first overall.
There you have it. The guy's going to play the whole game, and he's performed well, obviously. Everybody wondering, why not JJ? Why isn't JJ the number 1 pick? Hey, man, you got to play the strategy game. JJ may not play the whole game. We need guys who can make plays all day.
Let's see JJ make a play right now, too. See if we can get the Mays team going.
And so a lot of people ask, what is arm talent and arm strength? What's the difference? Well, that's a little bit of talent and a little bit of strength. Understanding where you're seeing and hitting that hole shot, right? You got a quick out underneath, and then the hole shot versus cover 2. You have to hold that receiver up in between the corner and the safety, and not a lot of quarterbacks to make that throw. That's an outstanding job by JJ.
And a great read, because Miles Pollard is playing corner, and he saw the out route underneath. So JJ's got his eyes on him. If he sinks off, he'll hit that underneath route. Miles Pollard stepped up on that out route, and as you mentioned, the arm talent, the wide field hole shot, zipped out of JJ's hands in a nice completion. And there it is again, another. The hashes in college football are so wide. What a rope.
He just threw from the opposite hash on a line on an out route all the way to the receiver only has an inch to get his feet in. Oh my goodness. So that's what everybody raves about. And maybe that whole shot is all he needed to get going, because that is an absolute rope. Even his own teammates, right? They know his arm strength. They've seen him in practice. And even Walker said, there's no way he can get away over there. Or Jones it was. No way he can get over here. He still gets the ball out there.
Let's give some love to 81 Peyton O'Leary.
Yeah.
Maybe they keep going to him. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. A couple of nice catches to start off the drive.
Jake, a year ago, we didn't see that. We didn't see drop, see what's downfield, get to the back as quickly as you can. And remember I talked about eyes and feet, knowing what you know and seeing what's going on downfield and making a decision. That's something you're going to see differently from JJ this year. Drop back. It's not open downfield, not going to be open. Get to the back quickly. That's a nice job of getting it to Franklin.
Well, and we're not going to see him today, but especially when Donovan Edwards comes back, because what he can do catching the ball out of the backfield, what he can do with the routes, you don't always need to force it downfield. Let's just go ahead and give it to Donovan Edwards underneath. But, you know, completions is the name of the game. And JJ now starting off this drive 3 for 3 for 42 yards, not trying to force anything, kind of settling into the game. We'll see what he can do. I'd love to finish with a touchdown if you're the Mays team.
Yeah, that's super important, right? 3 for 3, 42 yards on this drive. He started the game 1 from 4 on only 22 yards. Oh, Denard Robinson. We've got a Denard Robinson sighting. You got a great quarterback and a great running back standing behind him. You love Denard Robinson, right?
Who doesn't? If you don't love
it's something
Denard,
wrong with you a little bit, right?
I can
it's
trust
a little bit something. It's something a little wrong. He looks a little cold. You know, he's a Florida guy, right? Look at him. He's snuffling. His nose is probably running a little bit. Gotta love Denard.
A free play. Oh. It looked like Josiah Stewart there. Might have. Yep.
It's first down.
You got a pass rusher, right? He wants to get to the quarterback. He tried to get back, but the one thing that's important there, JJ was upset because you got a free play. He got back, right? And so this should be a free play opportunity, not uninnovated to the quarterback. Maybe they're going to get the offensive line moving a little prematurely, and so that's why they stopped it. But those are opportunities that you're going to have in games, and if they can take advantage of those opportunities, it's going to be great.
You know, One thing that I think is a sign of a mature quarterback is the ability to use multiple snap counts, because it all starts with the quarterback. You see what Aaron Rodgers does in the NFL. He uses every second of that play clock to analyze the defense, and he gets so many free plays. That's in the season, that's most likely a free play that JJ would take advantage of, and boy. So that's going to be a DPI.
It's going to be pass interference. It's fun to get pictures of you running with the ball as a defender in the screen game, but that was going to come back. That's Makari Page out of West Bloomfield, and you know, time just passes so fast. Makari Page is into his senior year. I remember this young guy calling high school games with him, and he's just locking up every receiver on the entire side of the field, and he's done well as a safety, but this is going to be a pass interference on the
Miles Pollard, yeah. So Miles got caught up with them, and Makari took advantage of it, but also Kenneth Grant was in there and got real close to JJ. Probably would have been a sack. Don't really want your defensive lineman getting that close to your starter at this point.
Yeah, you
but
know,
it looks
at the
like
next level, people lose jobs because of that. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
why are you near the quarterback?
I've seen it.
I know,
You touch
I've seen
you
it.
touch Peyton Manning, you're cut.
You're cut.
Sorry.
What are you doing? No, if you breathe on him.
There was a couple penalties, and I think they got on the return, it looked like the blue team
Holding.
might have blocked, an illegal block. But either way, Mays team ball, Mays team favorable field position.
Yeah, it's going to be first down as well. Coach Harbaugh trying to figure things out. The pseudo head ref.
The refs are asking Coach,
Hey,
what do you want us to
think
call?
here?
Coach is going to tell him.
We have a plethora of penalties. Which one would you like for us to enforce?
There are 2 fouls on the play, both against the defense. Pass interference, defense number 24. That penalty being enforced 15 yards from the previous spot includes an automatic first down. Personal foul, illegal blindside block. Defense number 34, that penalty is declined, first down.
Smartly, the Mays team will decline the blindside block, which would give the blue team the ball, and they're going to take that pass interference and set up first down inside the 15-yard line.
It hasn't been the cleanest start for Mays, and that's to say the least, but yet and all, they find themselves here now inside the 15 with the chance to score and tie up this ball game.
I mean, the way they've played, right, the inability to put drives together, they still have a chance, right? They have a chance to tie it up right here, Jake. Is there anything else you can ask for?
No, and look at the clock, second quarter. I know it's a spring game, under a minute left. You might expect a run here to try to milk the clock and not give the blue team a chance to drive it down in a 2-minute situation.
Remember, on this drive, 81, Peyton O'Leary has been big for JJ. Maybe he goes back to him at the bottom of your screen there.
One-on-one coverage. And he went back to O'Leary.
Listen, Jake, I work with a lot of young quarterbacks, and we were talking about man-to-man. What are you doing man-to-man, Jake? You find your best matchup, and on this drive, the best matchup is O'Leary versus whoever, right? And JJ goes right to him in man-to-man.
It's a matchup we'll be watching today. That's a Marion Walker in coverage wearing number 1. He's been tested throughout the day, and that time O'Leary won. It's a 5-6 yard route, nothing crazy.
Hitch, right? A lock hitch for those at home who understand a hitch route about 5 yards. Usually it converts versus that press coverage, but that's a lock hitch. You leave it on and kind of throw the defender by. Nice job by O'Leary, and nice strong hands. Catching away from your body, so important with a long defender like Walker.
So that's the blue team now calling a timeout to talk it over. They were a little late getting lined up. They had one-on-one coverage up top. Might have seen something they didn't necessarily like.
And so a lot of people are wondering, well, Walker, how is the transition going to be so seamless? Well, when you're a big, long athlete and you have great speed, agility, right? That's the one thing you worry about. He's going to have great agility. And we saw a 3-cone drill, an L-cone drill that is something to behold for Omarion Walker.
They said it would have been the fastest time in NFL Combine history. So
I mean,
he's still young. He's got even room. Maybe he gets it closer to 6 seconds. I mean, he's a beast.
He comes in 6'4". I think he's closer to 6'5", right? I stood next to him. I'm like, this guy
looks like an NBA player.
He looks like an NBA
Basketball
player, and to be able to sink your hips as a receiver or a corner, that L-cone drill shows why he's such a dynamic athlete. And that's the #1 pick. That's the #1 pick right there. Grant, the big fella. Franklin had nowhere to go, and Good was in on the tackle as well.
And they decided to not block Cam Good. That's a guy it's hard to miss there in the middle. He's
a big fella.
Big fella. Looks like a double wide refrigerator. You probably want to block that guy, especially down here inside the 10.
He's a big fella.
I like when the big boys make a play. They get the chance to celebrate, get the close-ups. It's always nice, but
man, he is a double wide refrigerator there, man. Another timeout for the Mays team.
And so here we are, 3rd and goal from the 5, a red zone situation. And if there was one knock on Michigan's offense last season, it was red zone scoring. I think what we saw in the TCU game, especially in the second half, was J.J. McCarthy, he's a playmaker, right? He's a quarterback, but he's a playmaker. And we saw him use his legs a little bit more. If there's one area they can improve, it's this low red zone scoring. And what do you think here, Devin? The playbook's wide open. What kind of play would you go to? Is there a certain guy you'd like to go to in this situation?
Well, Jake, I'd say the playbook is not that wide open because your quarterback's wearing all white, right? But if we were in an actual game, I think that the playbook is wide open. Using JJ's running ability, especially to open up passing lanes, and also just to have him run in the end zone, those quarterback powers, quarterback sweeps. That's something he can do. But here, I would want to see him drop back in the pocket and try to make a play with his arm. There he goes. He drops back, rolls left, tries to find a little more space, and drops a perfect pass in the end zone for a touchdown.
So he sent O'Leary in motion pre-snap, immediately knows, okay, it's man-to-man. So he's got Jake Thaw in the slot in one-on-one coverage. And how about this? They're allowed to have the celebration, so they're having fun with it. But pre-snap, there's Jake Thaw right up there in the hash, running a corner route, and a nice little stem at the top. Breaks off Cody Jones, and then J.J. McCarthy, like you mentioned, Devin, leaves the pocket, and his playmaking does the red, puts it right on him. And how about the celebrations?
Gotta love the excitement. That's a nice route, like you said. Just a little 1-2 at the top, lose the defender, and then the celebration. That's what you love about spring game. Don't you dare throw a flag, right? This is an opportunity for these guys to have fun. They worked hard for so many days, and it's a lot on the line. And now, Jay, the score is tied. After all that, you got turnovers here, turnovers there. Great job by Blue. Mays responds. We got a 7-7 game with just 10 seconds left in the half.
You know, it's a spring game, right? So you want to see guys making plays, and that caps off a nice 7-play, 70-yard drive. Finally get some momentum for Mays. But, you know, the spring game, what I always say, you don't want to see one thing, one team or one player or one area dominate. What you want to see is one area start to play well, and then the opposing area find a way to respond. So it started off with the blue team. They had all the momentum of the game. JJ hadn't got the Mays offense going, and that time aided with a couple penalties, but he certainly led them right down the field, and they finished with a nice touchdown.
And we've seen some adversity for JJ during the season ago, and he had some in the spring game, and he was able to respond. That last drive, 5 for 5, 52 yards, and a touchdown, polar opposite to the way this game started. So, like you said, you love to see teams respond because it's a mix and match, right? It's guys that don't usually play with each other, maybe haven't played with each other all spring, and they're on teams with each other because of the nature of the draft, and it's good to see that Mays team respond.
Good to see the guys competing, too, right? Like we say it's just a spring game. It doesn't seem like just a spring game to either of these guys.
Look at Tuttle's face. Look at his face. That doesn't look like a guy that's just in a spring game, right?
He's pissed.
He's in a fight, right? He's in a fight for his job. He's in a fight for an opportunity, and you love to see that.
Really, I think it's a sign of the culture and the direction of this team. Just a couple years, it feels like an eternity ago where they were after the COVID year. Things were not looking great, and all they've done since then was build on success. Back-to-back Big Ten champions. And I know as we look at this roster and what we're seeing so far with all the competition here in Ann Arbor, this roster, these players, these coaches think they have the guys to make it 3 in a row.
Yeah, Jake, the one thing that you could have said about Michigan football for a decent amount of time is always in a trail position, right? Michigan football was kind of always in that. You were a football guy, so let's use football terms. In that trail position, right? Behind, chasing after, reaching up. Right now, they are the lead dogs, right? Back-to-back Big Ten champions, like you said. I mean, I just love the direction of the program and how they've been able to flip things. And you got everyone in the Big Ten looking up at Michigan and chasing and trying to make sure that they can build a team that can compete with this juggernaut. That looks to be the last play of the half.
That'll do it. It's a nice stamp on the first half there, and you're all tied up at halftime. Devin, what'd you think? First half, Maize team, blue team, what stood out to you?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it a little bit, and the ability to respond from adversity. You saw the blue team come out, Tuttle, who did a very good job running the offense. Then he started to make a mistake, and the Maize team was able to capitalize. And for the Maize team, they struggled in the beginning. Tuttle was able to capitalize. So it's kind of been an even match, and as you can see, walking in the half, Maize 7, blue 7.
All right, let's kick it down to Brooke Fletcher. She's down there with Sharon Moore, the offensive coordinator.
Sharon, great performance from this offense for the blue team, led by Jack Tuttle getting that touchdown first. What impressed you most from what you saw from them in the first half?
The boys, being calm, collected. First time in the big house was fun to see, and watch those young guys execute at a high level was really good to see.
All right, well, it took a second to get J.J. McCarthy going, but he got a touchdown on that last drive. What'd you see from him?
Yeah, I just see the same things we've been seeing from J.J. He just keeps improving every day. Very excited about his progress and just love where he's at right now.
All right, thank you so much. Guys, I'll send it back to you.
All right, Brooke, thank you. Maize team 7, blue team 7, all tied up here in the big house. Great first half, and we'll see you on the other side of the break. Spring football on the Big Ten Network is brought to you by the USFL. How about this one, Devin? Season tickets, that means 9 games start at just $25. So you can see 9 games of football for $25. Professional football, head over to the USFL.com for more info.
That's fun. All right. That
seems
nice
like a deal to me.
Right? Seems like a deal to me. USFL football was outstanding a year ago. And how about the current Michigan Panthers that played in the Big Ten, the conference we played in, Jake?
It's your home team right here. Familiar face, Delano Hill.
Absolutely.
If there's any Spartan fans watching, Michigan State, Josh Butler. Marcus Ball, tight end from Ohio State. I was being recruited with him. So these are guys, if you follow the conference, you should know some of these names, some familiar faces. All right, so second half about to kick off. We're all tied up. Devin, is there a guy that you maybe have been waiting to see you haven't quite seen yet? Is there someone you're ready to see break out?
I can't wait to see Alex Orji. Man, I'm just telling you, when I watch those guys in workouts, the competition between him and JJ in everything. And so much talk has been about Warren and Tuttle, who are guys that are competing for the number 2 spot. But don't forget about Alex Orji, a guy who's developing as a passer. And when we talk about that defense, we got Brooke downstairs who has Coach Mentor and has a few questions for him. Brooke?
Jesse, blue defense was able to keep your starting quarterback, J.J. McCarthy, in check for majority of the first half. What impressed you from their performance?
Yeah, it was just good to see both sides attack the football. It's a huge area of emphasis for us this spring. So to get some turnovers and to get off the field on third down, I'd love to have seen both teams get a stop in the red zone, but we'll try and play better in the second half.
A player from either team that's really impressed you in the first half?
I thought Josiah Stewart, I'm on the Maize team, but I thought I could feel him out there, his pass rush ability. I thought Kenneth Grant made some nice plays. I thought it was really good to see Zeke Berry go up and get the ball. He's a guy that has made some progress this spring that we're trying to get to make a big jump for us.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you. Go Maize.
Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Brooke. Let's take a look at the schedule coming up this fall, and as I look at it, Devin, I see a similar structure. That
heavy hitters in the top.
Yeah, it's similar to last year, right? But difference, where last year you had some question marks you needed to answer. A very favorable out-of-conference schedule. This year, it's a complete team. A couple games I'm looking at Nebraska, September 30th. Matt Rule has really made a living at turning around programs. We'll see if Nebraska can get up to speed. Obviously, Michigan State's a big game, but going on the road to Penn State, I think that roster is completely loaded. We'll find out a lot about this team there, and the game in Columbus doesn't need any introduction.
No, of course, right? You grew up in Ohio, so you know all about it. But don't forget about Purdue, right? Everybody kind of just goes over them as if they are not a viable option. But remember, they played in the Big Ten Championship, and play Michigan tough, at least early. I think that Purdue, I think they're going to be an improved football team with their new coaching staff and quarterback. So Hudson Card, I think he was a good player at Texas, and he's now there. So they could be a force to be reckoning with.
The Spoilermakers, Ryan Walters there as the head coach. So there's your guy, Alex Orji. We were talking about him before, and we've seen JJ, we've seen Jack Tuttle. Maybe we'll see Alex Orji to kick off the second half.
Oh, yeah, we're going to see Alex Orji, and I'm just telling you, man, he is a freak. The job that Coach Herbert, the strength coach, has done with this staff, we saw at the Combine where the fastest player in the whole entire Combine was a Michigan football player. He's done an outstanding job. And remember, Alex Orji is only in his second year. He hasn't even had a long time to develop these numbers, but the broad jump, 10-6. 41-inch vertical, Jake. 41, and we're some jump. We can jump. But that's
you can
insane.
jump. You can jump. I can't.
I want to give you. I gave you a little bit too much credit.
Yeah.
I gave you too much, but that's okay. His 3 cones, 6.65. I mean, this guy and that 22-mile-per-hour max velocity as a sprinter. He's a big, strong man who I think can really help this team. And more than just the quarterback run, design run only, I think he's a viable option for that backup quarterback position as well.
Dev, I'm glad you mentioned him, the strength coach, Ben Herbert.
Yeah.
Because as you look at when this program started to change, he was a big part of it. And Coach Harbaugh was quoted saying if there was one guy he could take with him anywhere, it was Coach Ben Herbert. You know, there's NCAA rules, so most of the offseason, of course, spring ball, the coaches are involved. But it's the strength coach. And the strength coach job certainly to get you stronger in the weight room. But it's also, he's the guy that builds the culture, the mental toughness, gets them ready for the physicality and the mental challenge of the season. And in my opinion, Ben Herbert, he's the best to do it in all of the country. I called a couple Illinois games last year. Brett Bielema is very familiar with Ben Herbert. He was really pushing, but of course Coach Harbaugh got him. So I mean, he's highly sought after. He's the best at what he does in the country.
He's obviously an outstanding strength coach. We've seen the change in speed and strength. But he's actually smart too, right? You see the strength coaches come out with no sleeves. Now, he's not soft, right? He doesn't have on a big giant coat, but he has his sleeves on. He's got a scully on. He looks rough and tough without being crazy, right? You want to have some warmth at some stages of your outfit.
He can be crazy,
yeah, see,
but he isn't
smart.
crazy.
He's smart, he's civil,
and
he's a great strength coach. Look at that. Every level. Here we go, second half. See who the blue team sends out, and I think it's going to be Alex Orji.
And last year he did some nice things. Obviously, the infamous RG3 call on the broadcast.
Yep. I won't get into that.
Won't get into that one, but
I think he did a really good job, right? They brought him in almost spot duty, right, to kind of check your quarterback and allow him to run some of that Q run stuff. But when you talk to the team, he's a guy that's developed, and he continues to develop as a passer. I think some of those skills are going to be on full display. I think he could be special in the spring game simply because he's live. In his running ability, he's not going to be taking any slides, right? He's going to be finishing runs and trying to get down the field.
You got a couple close-ups there. Look at his frame. He looks like a man. You know, he doesn't look like a young college player. He doesn't even look like a quarterback. He's got such great size and strength to him. We saw the speed. We saw his ability to run. The next step forward for him is to get more comfortable in the pocket as a passer.
So I think that's what you're going to see from the defense. You're going to play a little tighter, right? Maybe try to force him to make these perfect plays. So I think there are going to be options to drive the ball down the field. Maybe some double moves. When I'm a DB and I see a guy that comes in that usually is a runner, right? He doesn't pass the ball down the field a whole bunch, right? I'm going to be a little tighter on my receiver because I know I have a little leeway and to make up. And so I think he's going to have some opportunities today to drive the ball down the field and make some big plays.
And that was Keshawn Harris there on the breakup. Another guy that's been mentioned by teammates, by players, as we're looking to fill out that cornerback 2 and 3 spot. There's your guy, Orji, running it. You're right. Oh! Just telling you. Do you see that out of a quarterback 2 often?
Listen, Jake, I thought I was clear. He will not be sliding today. Right, he is going to try to get himself going, and he is going to finish run. You just don't see this out of a quarterback, but watch him on the edge and listen to him. Oh! That's delivering the boom. He is not absorbing any hits. I love to see it.
It's a 2-yard run, right? Listen, he didn't break it down.
Outstanding.
But my goodness.
You're going to come out and you're going to bring in Davis Warren. Is it Davis?
That's Tuttle.
That's Tuttle again.
And a free play. So, okay. So that's Jair Hill.
Yeah.
Got the interception. Sorry, Jair, it's not going to count because the double count, the snap count, was able to draw him offside. So it's all good.
But you still don't want to see that, right?
You don't want to see it, but you take a
it.
shot when you know you have a free play.
Yeah, you know, Jake, shots are usually up in the air.
Defense number 56 in the neutral zone at the snap. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Right, you usually want to see that, maybe throw a jump ball, right? Throw something down the field. Because what if they don't call it? What if it's something else? You don't want to take that chance and throw it directly into the defender's hands. Luckily for Tuttle there, I'm sure he thought he knew that he had a free play. But sometimes you don't have a free play. You don't want to do things like that.
You're the quarterback. I'm just telling
you. But you're not out there. I'll throw to you, right? You're 6'11" is seemingly, right? You got that tall, long neck, long arms. It's like he's inspired. He saw Orgy, and I don't know if he should make a living doing that. You can see he getting up a little slow there. He saw Orgy finish a run. He's like, well, I can do that too.
Didn't quite sound the same.
Maybe not, Tuttle. Maybe not. Maybe get back to the slide, do your thing. But he did a very good job of picking up the first down, and in comes Alex Orgy. This blue team is right at 50%, 3 of 6 on 3rd down. Watch the safeties. The safety's going to be a lot lower, right? They're going to be a lot lower, and they're going to respond late to the pass.
And there it is. This is what we've been waiting to see. We talked so much about Amarion Walker's ability, his speed, all these sexy stats. But the question was, can he come up and
That's
Jaden McBurrows. They're both wearing the number 1.
They're wearing number 1. That's
still,
but that's
yes.
an outstanding job. And I said it before the play. The safety stuff, they're going to be a little lower. The defensive backs aren't going to be so threatening. So that bubble screen is essentially an extension of the run game. They understand when Orge's in the game, he's more of a heavy run type of player, and they're going to have their guys down to make plays.
I'm glad you corrected me because that is Jaden McBurrows. And DJ Turner, Jamon Green, they had their pro day here, and they were asked, hey, who's the next guy to watch out for? They said Jaden McBurrows. And one thing they said, which is high praise for a cornerback, is he hits like a linebacker. We saw it on that previous play. And now the next guy's Derek Moore, and some of this Michigan Mays defensive line got in there on the action.
Big fella. Derek Moore getting in and making a play, just swallowing the running back on that last play. Setting up a very remember earlier in the game that 3rd and 27 with 3rd and 27 even more. You know, this is not where you want to be. It's 3rd and 20 now. There's not a lot of plays. Not a lot of plays.
Hail Mary, probably not. But hey, okay, well it's 3rd and 20 now. Let's watch these edge guys. It's Derek Moore. Can he get after the quarterback if they do decide to drop back? Wow. So Derek Moore just makes the tackle. Did you watch him there? Did you watch the bull rush?
The edge, man. He's got speed off the edge, and he turns it into that bull rush and runs right down the middle of the offensive tackle. I mean, that's a very nice job. He's down at the bottom of your screen there, speed, and then he puts his arm right into. Oh my goodness, that's Khalil Mack-esque, where you get that straight arm and then you finish that guy, or Aaron Donald, all those strong guys at the next level.
This is his 2nd year, and he was a guy last spring that was making a name for himself. As a freshman, he had a senior type body. He's got that big size, almost like Frank Clark in a sense. Just a grown man. That's certainly high praise, but that time you see the speed to power, like you said, Devin, that long arm, and just walks the tackle back right in and is able to force an errant throw.
Jake, I mean, I've never done that before. Obviously, we're offensive guys. We've never done that. But it's got to be difficult. A man at 300-some-odd pounds, and you lift him up with one arm. Right, imagine that, Jake, where you're going and you're rushing a guy, and a guy who's trying to stop you, you lift him up on his feet and in onto the ground with just one arm. I mean, how strong is Moore, right?
Well, I think a big piece of that is having a plethora of moves. So the speed to power, right?
No question,
so you're showing the speed, so the tackles all of a sudden, they're sitting back. They feel that pressure. But then the good pass rushers I played with, Von Miller, he was great at this.
Oh, man.
Once they feel you on your heels, it's their foot in the ground, and they're putting that hand right in the V of your neck to lift you up. Derek Moore showing some great moves.
I think we've seen the last of our guy,
J.J. McCarthy, huh? So Davis Warren now in.
Davis Warren is now the quarterback for the Mays team, and he burst on the scene for me last year. Everybody knows about his fight, coming into college, but last year he made some plays in the spring game, and I'm just looking like, you move this offense up and down the field. You made tough throws, right? He's put on some weight, obviously. I think that Davis Warren, like we talked about the other quarterbacks, is another viable option at that number 2 spot. And he's kind of got an edge on Tuttle just because he's already been here in the program and knows the offense. But I'm very excited about what Warren's been able to do and his development.
Yeah, guys, you're talking about Davis Warren and just talking about growing as a quarterback. He said he's looking ahead to this season. He said he's just excited to keep growing and just getting better. He's gaining confidence, and he's been able to prove himself every day that he can play at this level. Also, Coach Harbaugh just having confidence in him to get the job done if he is needed to go in behind J.J. McCarthy. He said that's been huge, just really building his presence on the field.
After the penalty will be second down and 21.
So both offenses, a lot of mistakes. You don't want to see 3rd and 20. You don't really want to see 2nd and 16.
Oh, no. Oh, no. A nice play by Walker, but he doesn't finish it. And, Jake, this really makes me upset. Receivers are great receivers, right? And as soon as they go over to defense, they forget how to catch.
Yeah.
What is he doing here? This is an outstanding play. He's in position. Not a great throw by Davis Warren, but he goes up high, points it just like he can, and then it bumbles out. Come on.
Well, I didn't want to say this, but what you say is, hey, when you go from receiver to corner, usually they're saying, hey, you got to catch the ball, right?
But I'm just telling you, man, every time a receiver goes to the corner, it's like they forget about their catching ability, right?
Yeah. But listen, hey, he's new to this position. It's new to track the ball from the secondary. And the good thing is he's in place, and he was able to track the ball. You'd expect that he progresses since he's so new to this. He did play both ways in high school, but college is a different level. By fall camp, that's a play he's going to have to make.
So that throw we saw was a little bit of a lollipop, but you got to know, the temperatures down there are very frigid. This guy has an arm. He's got a strong arm. Look at this throw. A little over route from the tight end to Bredesen and puts it right on his face mask, right in front so he can run with it. This guy, Davis Warren, has arm strength. He has arm talent, and he's only getting stronger and better as he continues with that Herbert strength program.
We'll need some arm strength here, 3rd and 13.
It's a sniper in the building.
In the NFL, you get fined for that. You get fined. You got to put fines in the pot because that's a touchdown.
The Turfmeister bites again. How about Davis Warren getting the ball out quickly on the quick slant? A nice job and a nice show of speed.
Yeah.
But just maybe a little too much. He goes down.
He outran himself. Look, he's smiling.
Too much laughter. Too much laughter.
And now everyone else smiling.
Premature celebration, and he is down. That's going to be forever known.
They're going to be getting on him in film for that one.
As a don't you hit her now, right? You got to get to the end zone, man. Wow. He's not going to hear the end of that, Jake, if that happens in the locker room, how long does it take for us to forget?
Oh, you never forget. You don't forget that one.
Oh, it was such a nice play by him.
Another flag.
It looks like a little holding. We got a little handsy by the defenders. All right, you got holding and pass interference as an option. Here we go. I'm taking all bets. What do you got? You got holding or pass interference? Come on, he's about to say it.
DPI. Let's go.
Okay.
There are 2 fouls on the play, one against each team.
Maybe both.
Ineligible player downfield, number 74
Okay.
on the offense. Holding defense, number 1. The penalty's offset. We will replay first down.
All right.
So you get the steak and I get the hot dog.
No.
Right.
So listen, it offsets, so it doesn't even count.
Okay.
But and there's the holding. You can see right there, Walker. I mean, he got a nice handful of jersey there and almost ripped his shoulder pads off over his helmet. But offsetting penalty, so you're going to replay the down. Taking all bets.
Just to go back to Walker on that previous play, hasn't been the perfect game for him, right? He's clearly got some ways to go, but as soon as I say that, clearly has the talent, clearly has athleticism, clearly has the coach and the staff to help develop him. They did it with Richard Sherman back when Harbaugh was at Stanford. Mike Sain was still obviously a great example last year, and he's been drawing praise throughout the spring. So you'd imagine another summer to get a little bit stronger, get more familiar with the technique, with the defense. Again, we're looking to see who's that cornerback 2 slot. Will Johnson is not playing today, but next to Will Johnson in the fall.
I think the important piece to that whole scenario is Clinksdale, right? The defensive backs coach, and he's also the pass game coordinator on defense, coordinator. He has been known to develop wide receiver, or not wide receivers, but cornerbacks and turn them into real players. He's one of the more heralded recruiters as well, right? So he knows how to find the guys, but he also knows how to develop them. So I think that Clinksdale's going to play an integral part in making sure that Walker is ready to perform when the lights are brightest.
And he's done that. He did the same thing with Mikey Sain still last year.
Mikey was outstanding. I mean, I think he was
picked
a
it up
snub.
quickly.
I think he should have been an all Big Ten performance. Unanimous almost. He played so well last year after not having played it maybe since high school. I'm sure he played both ways in high school, but what he was able to do, and especially at his size, right? This is a big man sport. He's not a big man, and he made some outstanding plays down the stretch early in the season whenever he could.
Yeah, Darius Clements, nice catch underneath. He was ready to drop step and go in, but just like our guy Matthew Hibner, couldn't keep his feet.
Couldn't keep his feet. Harbaugh likes it. You don't see too much laughing and smiling from Coach Harbaugh, but he understands what's going on the field. A lot of the players that are going to play a real part in making sure this team is as successful as it was a year ago, they're not participating, right? You don't have your offensive linemen playing in a cohesive unit as a cohesive unit because they're split up because of the draft. He understands what it is. He just wants to see good football. He wants to see his guys improve. And this is more of a showcase, right? So just for the fans and have fun and enjoy the moment. You can see that he's having fun.
Looks like May's team went with the timeout here. Want to talk it over. 4th and goal from the 3. Maybe they kick the field goal. Maybe they take the points.
How about Tristan Bounds, right? And we're going to see in just a second his swag on his feet, right? Check his feet. He has the Mays spat. You don't see that too often, Jake. We didn't have the Mays spat when we were coming up. Remember Taylor Lewan? He was the offensive lineman that was all about swag, right? You got to love to see offensive lineman that's all about swag. Also, number 77, that's a really good look. Trevor Keegan also has the Mays spat on his feet. I love to see a lineman with swag. Obviously, blocking and making sure you finish guys is very important, but you got to love the Mays feet when you're wearing the Mays uniform.
A lot of 4th down attempts today. They're not afraid to go for it. They're playing to win.
What are we doing here? Of course we're going to go for it on 4th down. So you don't see too much.
And Kyle Green says, no thank you.
They try to sneak one in there. You know, you don't see Davis Warren keeping too many read options. And they try to sneak it in there. Maybe he'll run right past them, but a very good job of staying disciplined by the #1 pick in the draft.
So that's Nikhil Green. He makes the play, he rips off his helmet, and he had some words to say to the Mays sideline. He's celebrating, and he's another one of these guys, like we talked about earlier in the broadcast, that linebacker position. It's Junior Colson, and then who? A lot of guys competing for that spot. Nikhai Hill-Green was expected to play last year, was injured, dealt with that lingering soft tissue injury, never was able to come on. Now he's back healthy, and it's nice to see him making plays and making a case to get some more playing time this fall.
Freshman Benjamin Hall getting some opportunities at the running back position, and you know, that's just one run, but I love the burst. I love the burst. As soon as he touches it, trying to burst through the hole quickly. I'm interested to see how he can perform. You know, you've been an early enrollee. When you're an early enrollee, you come in, you're a little wet behind the ears. There's a lot going on. You're trying to figure out where your classes are. You're trying to get ingratiated into the system. So him getting some opportunities here at the end of this third quarter, I think is very good.
Just to go back to Benjamin Hall there, Devin, he's a really interesting story to me because great career up to his junior year, and then his senior year, the production dropped a little bit. Was wondering, hey, is he still going to come to Michigan or not? Obviously, Jim Harbaugh honors his scholarship, and you know, you look at these recruiting websites. I trust Jim Harbaugh's ability to evaluate talent. So he gets to practice with the team during the bowl prep. That's invaluable. And now, as we're looking to see who's that running back 3 behind Edwards and Corum, he's been getting high praise from the coaches, high praise from his teammates, and showing some nice things, little pockets here in the spring.
It's a nice tackle by
Rayshawn Benny.
Rayshawn Benny does a very good job. And you know, we know other defenders who were outstanding at shedding blocks and making plays. How about David Ojabo, for example, who's down on the sideline with Brooke Fletcher?
Yeah, I'm here with David now. David, welcome back to the Big House. How's it feel to be back with your Michigan fam?
It's a blessing, man. Never gets old. You know, go blue always.
I know you were commenting on the weather. You're living Baltimore year-round now that you are with the Ravens. So, how does the winter feel, like this weather being back here? Because I know you were saying you're a little cold.
Man, nothing beats Michigan winter, man, or Michigan weather in general, man. The cold always gets you, definitely.
Well, you have 1 year in the NFL under your belt. Just how has that been playing with the Ravens?
It's been a blessing, honestly. You know, the transition's been very smooth, you know, going from Coach Harbaugh to Coach Harbaugh. And, yeah, I'm just in a blessed situation, honestly.
Are there any similarities between the Harbaughs that you want to share with us?
I guess their humor is the same, man. They got the same jokes, and overall, just good guys, honestly.
What's your best memory now that you're being back here? You know, you were talking with your old teammates, reunited with them. What was your best memory just playing here with the Wolverines?
Man, nothing beats beating Ohio State, man, on this very field. You know, I still get chills even thinking about it, because you know, so soon. I mean, so recently, you know, but nothing beats that memory, definitely.
What and finally, real quick, if you had to give advice to any of these guys, what would you give them?
Man, just have fun doing it. You know, college is one of the best times of your life, and you know, just live in the moment.
All right, thank you so much, David. Guys, back to you.
Hey, Jake, I'd say those checks are clearing. The drip looks great.
That's right.
Those NFL checks clearing. And remember Ojabo, he was a great story because, you know, he hurts himself in the pro day. He was probably going to be a first-round pick, in my opinion. I think a lot of people thought the same. And he tears his Achilles, but the Ravens take him in the second round. And then he was able to come back, and he was a force for that Ravens defense.
Oh, man. Jack Tuttle got lit up on that. Obviously, the ball popped up. He's real slow to get up. See right here, they're running the read option, and then right here, boom, comes in late. Oh my.
Man. Got to be more careful. I mean, that ball comes out, and you know you're reaching, and you're kind of defenseless, trying to go get it, and then you got these bees flying in and stinging.
That's the risk of having live quarterbacks. You want to avoid that kind of thing. Thankfully, it looks like Tuttle's okay. He got off the field under his own power, but another fumble.
I'm just telling you, I'm a quarterback, right? And I've been in a spring game. He's thinking, why am I live? Wait, did I agree to this? Why am I live? What are we doing? Second or third time, I've gotten destroyed. Another opportunity here. Davis Warren. Remember the previous drive? They went for it on fourth down, did not convert.
That's a really nice job.
Jake, I don't even know if the fans watching at home know how nice that is. Miles Pollard absolutely played Warren. He played him like a fiddle. He made him look like he was going to the post, and then he dropped off. Oh, it looked like the wheel was wide open, and he takes it away. A nice job by the sophomore Brentwood, Tennessee.
And as a defensive back too, it's about pattern recognition. And earlier in the game, Jack Tuttle had a chance on that exact play. You highlighted it. Tuttle threw the ball away. That time, Miles Pollard, you did a great job, Devin, as they were running the post-wheel combo. And Miles Pollard, he's on the post and then reads the eyes of Davis Warren, peels off, and just sits right on it, and then completes it. And then even better, he's got the turnover buffs.
I mean, it's so important that when you get a turnover, you get the turnover buffs. There we go.
It's a nice catch. Freddie Moore, that's his second catch now. Had one on the last drive, along with Benjamin Hall, 2 early enrollees. And another story is this receiver group. Obviously, Cornelius Johnson back. Roman Wilson's back, ready to take a next step. But who's going to be one of these younger guys to get involved and have some production? And Freddie Moore, he's one guy. Samaj Morgan, number 12, he's another guy that's been drawing a lot of praise from Coach Harbaugh, a lot of praise from his teammates. He's got the respect of Will Johnson. I talked to him pregame. They're excited about these young receivers. Great patience. Great patience.
Yeah, I said it from his first carry. I like this burst, but Benjamin Hall has a nice kind of ability to move and sift through and then burst, right? At the point of attack, he's very strong. It looks like, I mean, we've only seen him limitedly, but it looks like when he makes contact, he's falling forward every single time, similar to Blake Orm.
And what you see on the TV is you see a hole right now, and you think a running back should just go ahead and hit that hole. But I think the great backs, they're patient, and what they do is they set up the blocks for their linemen and their tight ends. When they dance, they're not dancing to hit another hole. They're dancing to set the block to then hit the hole. And now he's getting a couple carries in a row. We're seeing the feel and seeing the potential. This is a nice couple carries.
As you speak about it, he does it, right? And it's just a small little hesitation, right? Just a little small skip to my loop, allow your lineman to get out in front, and then you burst. And when you see the opening, that's a very nice job by this young back.
He doesn't look like an early enrollee, though.
Yeah,
look at
the
man.
body. Look at his lower body.
Stocky, strong, lower body. Yeah. Again, that's a big piece for Michigan with Blake Corum being injured, Donovan Edward being injured, understanding Jim Harbaugh is going to run the ball 30 times a game. Who's going to be that third guy to spell him and keep the whole group healthy throughout the season? Ben Hall making a nice case.
Gets a chance to come out for a play, and then he starts to trot back out there. It looks like this is going to be a heavy dose.
He's young.
Hall.
Get him in there. He doesn't need to come out.
Hey, you want to be the 3-back?
He's got prom in a couple weeks, though. He's still in high school.
Do you want to be the third back or not? Right, get your butt in there and make some plays, and I would imagine he's going to touch the ball here on this short yardage situation. He reminds me of Blake Corum, man.
I was going to say that.
He's small in stature, stocky, strong, and he's shifty, and he's got great burst.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that Blake Corum has him underneath his feet.
Good guy to learn under. See ya.
Not quite.
Not
but
quite.
A very nice run.
Yeah. And a hurdle on the sidelines, too.
I mean,
that's a long way to get the edge of the defense.
A long way, right? You string it out as a defender, but that's great speed by Alex Orji pulling that ball out and capturing the edge. You're a quarterback, and you want to try to get the edge. And if you can get the edge, you can make some big plays. Nice job. He sees the shoulders of that outside defender, the contained player Burrows, facing him, and he's like, I've got the athletic ability to get out. I'm just telling you the story. When I was a quarterback and Denard Robinson was a quarterback, we had different rules in the readout. If the shoulders are turned, Denard, or Devin, you still get the ball. If the shoulders are turned, Denard, you run it anytime. If it looks like you can get there again, here goes all. I don't know.
It took a while, but we're seeing something special.
I mean, not for me. Not for me, Jake. I was on it right away after the first carry. This guy he's got something now. It's a nice run, and the ability to put it in the end zone.
Nice hold, too, there off the left side of the offensive line. So you see he presses it in the middle of the O-line. He sets the blocks, and then bang. He waits for that last hole. He's got that stocky body, so you know he's powerful, but then he shows the speed down the sideline. Here it is. So you got a double team on that left side, and then the infamous Michigan Polars coming around the mountain. 2 double teams play side. They create movement, and then you got 2 athletic linemen pulling around and smacking people in their mouth. And blue team now takes the lead 14-7. We're going into the 4th quarter with Mays trying to go ahead and tie it up. 4th quarter on the other side of the break. Spring football on the Big Ten Network is brought to you by the USFL. Don't miss the home opener at Ford Field on Sunday, April 30th. Tickets start at just $10. Go ahead and buy now. Visit the USFL.com for more details.
Yeah, they got a chance to put together a youth clinic with some Metro Detroit performers. Hall trying to finish off. He did not get in the end zone on that last run that he had, so they're going to get from the few opportunities. I imagine on 4th down they're going to go for it. But the USFL is doing an outstanding job. The football has been great, but how about our former teammates, right? Channing Stribbing led the USFL in interceptions last year, was a very close second in the voting for Defensive Player of the Year. Delano Hill, who was a Seahawk for so many years, and Willie Henry, who won a championship in the first year of the CFL last season.
And there it is.
There it is, finally.
Thought he got in.
I don't think he got in.
But he got in.
But he got in
eventually.
Of course. Very nice job by Hall. 8 plays, 69 yards, 63 rush yards. And the big chunk of those yards came from Hall, or on the shoulders and legs of Hall.
We've seen some good celebrations. That might be an early enrollee celebration. He didn't fully look prepared for the moment, right?
But no, that celebration you just saw is a workout they do when they're preparing to start working out, where they get like kind of a tug of war with each other. I mean, you know, I love it because there's another opportunity to compete. They're just warming up, stretching, and they're still competing. But that's a nice drive by the blue team, but a nice drive by Benton Hall.
In the offensive line and the tight ends.
Yeah, those guys,
So it all comes down to this, Devin. 4th quarter, 14-7, a competitive spring game. If you guys are watching with us at home, notice something. We've been doing 12-minute quarters. This quarter is going to be 15 minutes. I imagine it's that much more game-like. And a little bit sloppy from both offenses. Yeah. There's been some separation here or there, but this feels like a big drive for the Mays team to try to get some momentum back.
Jake, they call this winning time. All right, you got an opportunity. And speaking of winning time, how about winning time in the past? How about a flashback?
All right, what do you got for me?
Who is that? Who is that old 98 throwing up in the one-handed snag from the big 8-8?
All right, true story. This was my first touchdown. It was double overtime. It was the Dilio slide.
You're trying to talk us out of that celebration?
Yeah, it's a worse celebration, right? But this, I blacked out. It was a huge game. Dilio had the Dilio slide.
Look at me just screaming at you. You the man, Jake.
98-88.
And then we went on to win that game, of course.
The game.
That was the infamous, like you said, this Dilio slide, where we run a route where he's a decoy, right? He's all the way in the back.
You marched us down, and it was the hurry up situation. Pronto.
You know what's crazy? Most NFL teams use that footage to coach that, right? Because that's the thing that you need to do. But that's something we practice every single week. A lot of NFL teams use that footage to show this is how we need to be prepared for situations such as that. We were able to go on and win that game.
Hey, and I'm going to call him out too. A.J. Williams might not have been set on the edge, but it's not a penalty unless they throw a flag.
A.J. Williams, you got to get set, buddy. I know you're probably at home watching. Get set, Juice. The juice was loose.
The juice was loose that time.
Maybe.
All right, so it's back to Davis Warren here. Let's see, Leon Franklin next to him. The last drive, blue team was able to establish the run. Mays team hasn't quite seen that success here in the second half.
First and 10 to the Mays 25-yard line.
Franklin's getting an opportunity here, right? So if he wanted to vie for that number 3 back position, he's gotten the opportunities. He's an older guy, a walk-on who's getting opportunities here in the spring, and it's fun to see a local guy from Southfield, Michigan.
He's been in the program for a number of years. He's done some things, gotten some opportunities. But this is a big day for him when he gets his chance, and this time he's flexed out all the way wide. Mays team in an empty set now.
If we throw the ball, I want to go down the bottom of your screen. Darius Clemens.
One-on-one.
One-on-one.
Press coverage. There's Franklin. A lot of, it starts with JJ. He's great at it, but the quarterbacks are kind of following his lead when that first or second read isn't there. They've all shown the capability to vacate the pocket, keep their eyes downfield, and that's just a nice completion to move the chains in the early downs.
And for Davis Warren, that's so good because you know you can throw the ball away once you're outside the tackle box, right? So you continue to string it out until you find a guy. The defense is a bit undisciplined. He finds his running back Franklin for a first down.
Ball placement.
Ball placement.
You want that on the outside shoulder.
You knew I was thinking it. And so the timing is good, right? Another 9-stop. It's an NFL route. You know this NFL-type offense. But the ball has to be outside on the outside shoulder because you're not going to have a lot of space, right? The defender is not going anywhere. You just have that split second where your timing is going to beat his ability. But if the timing is right and the accuracy and ball placement is off, that's what you're going to have.
And they say football's a game of inches, right? I mean, the ball's up here, and then you want it on that. It's a foot difference, but it matters, especially at this level. Yes. There's Darius Clemens again in press coverage up top, and they're bringing the corner blitz. Would love to see him get to that. Say, hey, Darius, give him a check and send him downfield on a go ball. He's 6'3", he's a big body. Give him a shot. Yeah.
Last year in this very spring game, he had an outstanding catch in the back of the end zone.
See that again.
During an interview. Remember I was interviewing Ronnie Bell? Yeah.
That's how we knew the ACL was good, too.
I mean, his ACL was perfectly fine. He got over there so fast. So I want to see him get more opportunities. I think he can be a big, big help to this offense and be kind of a filler when you lose a guy like Ronnie Bell.
To me, Roman Wilson is a really solid receiver. Cornelius Johnson is proven, especially with what he did in Columbus. But
the receiving corps is going to be fine.
But I want to see one guy separate. Who's the guy when you're on the road? We looked at the schedule earlier. You're at Happy Valley. You're playing Penn State. Who's the guy in 3rd and 8 in the 4th quarter that you're saying, I'm going to him? And everyone knows you're going to him, and he can't be stopped. I believe they have that guy on the roster, but who's it going to be? You got to separate.
I had a guy like that. Remember Jeremy Gallo? You remember how
he was unbelievable? He might be one of the more underrated players.
He was 5'6". They listed him at 5'8". He's obviously 5'6".
He could run every route in the book, caught everything.
He was
great after the catch.
And so many times, you remember, I would just give him a signal, the play would get run, and I'd just throw something out to him and let him do his thing. And he was special on so many occasions. Obviously, has the Big Ten record for receiving yards against Indiana, 369.
So who's that guy then, Devin? Who, based on what you've seen from this roster, who could that guy be this fall? Is it one of the veterans? Is it maybe one of these younger guys that could emerge? What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, I think you have to lean into Cornelius Johnson, right? And obviously, Roman Wilson is going to be that guy that takes the top off. I think he's going to be special. But I think that the Cornelius Johnson, his development, his ability to run routes, man, his route running, we saw it earlier today.
The corner post on Ohio State, too.
The corner post on Ohio State, and then he had the post out or post corner today where it was just, something subtle, but it's a big deal. I think that his route running ability and ability to play in big games and make big catches in his speed, I think he can be that guy that you can lean on. Hey, we want to throw up a fade. We'll throw it to you. And Colston Loveland as well, a guy who's not a receiver, but a tight end who can, oh, my goodness, O'Leary. Oh, my goodness, O'Leary.
Okay.
I'm O'Leary. I'm a little Leary. I'm a little O'Leary.
So this is a great job by Davis Warren because they telegraphed that Cam Calhoun was bringing the corner blitz. So normally when they bring a corner blitz, you say, we're hot, we're going to run a hitch. Look at the pump fake. Bang. And then I think that's O'Leary. He stutters his feet.
Yeah, it's a stutter and go.
The safety comes over, thinks it's a hitch. Everyone thinks it's a hitch, and instead it's an explosive play down the sideline. That's just a great job of everyone being on the same page.
What's so funny about that? We were just talking about Jeremy Gallen, right? And remember, we played Ohio State. We're in the same type of area. They bring corner blitz. Fitzgerald top picks it up. I pump fake Jeremy Gallen on the stutter, and then I throw it over the top because now you have a safety trying to play a receiver on a stutter and go situation, and as you can see, he's probably going to be wide open.
And it's so important that everyone's on the same page, right? Because the safety knows, just let's think of this from a defense perspective. The safety knows, hey, we're bringing a blitz. So in his
mind, I can't be beat over the top.
Well, he's also thinking, hey, the ball's going to come out quick because of the pressure. So those safeties are going to trigger on that first look, which they did on O'Leary running the hitch there. And then all of a sudden, you're behind the defense for a big explosive play. But exactly like you said, Dev, everyone's got to be on the same page. The protection is imperative. The receiver has to be on the same page with the quarterback.
The
and then when it
quarterback
happens,
has to have courage, right?
It has to have
because
courage.
you know you're probably going to get hit because you're holding the ball just a little bit longer than you usually would. I think that's why football is the greatest sport, Jake. Right? Everybody has to be working together for things to work, and you saw it on that play. Got away with a little tug there.
Marion Walker in coverage. Darius
Clemens like,
Clemens.
wait a minute. I tried to run it out, and he pulled me away from it. I'm like, what are you doing?
So Clemens was running. So earlier we saw Cornelius Johnson run the same route on a Marion Walker. That time it's Clemens, and that's the difference between a 6-7 year guy. Cornelius been here for so long, and a second-year guy.
Jeez, did you just give him 7 years of college?
He could. In this year, right? He's been here 5-6 years, right? He's been here for so long.
Man.
But what you want to do if you're Darius Clemens, he kind of faded at the top of the route. We call it reducing back to the quarterback, running negative. Davis Warren was throwing him to the front pylon where he should have been, but he faded a little bit in the end zone. Nice catch. I think that's Joe Taylor, yeah. Really nice catch.
Nice job by Joe Taylor, but nice job by Jones, making sure that he at least gives a chance that the referee has to mark him short, and he does, right? Because if Jones is not there right away, that's going to be a first down, right? A first down catch. And let's talk about ball placement again. If that ball's outside a few inches, right? You'll be able to catch and turn up, and you'll have the first down. But now you have to get into this fourth down and short situation because the ball is just a bit behind and allows Jones to catch up.
That's Jones coming off like a missile off the edge, too. They leaved it.
He might have been
two
offsides.
edge guys unblocked.
He might have been offsides. He might have came off a little too fast. Atterbury.
The hair looks great. Look at that.
Illegal hands to the face, defense number 78. Half the distance to the goal line includes an automatic first down. Number 74 on the offense may stay in the ball game.
You saw Atterbury kind of waving off. Hey, guys, my helmet's off, but I can stay in because he pushed it off. The number 1 pick, you can see the big fella right there. I mean, he's been a monster all day, though, right?
Yep.
He's been in the mix on a lot of different plays, and he's been a reason they weren't successful on that last play. A little illegal hands.
So Mozzie Smith, the big thing, he was on Bruce Feldman's freak list. He was the number 1 guy. Well, Kenneth Grant was on that list last year. And you'd imagine now that he's back, he's going to have that list again. But how about Leon Franklin? We just talked about him earlier in the drive, getting it in, tying it up for the Mays team.
How about that? The pride of now Southfield A&T. And
the celebrations are on point, Dad.
They're on the boat. You got to get the linemen involved. I love it. I love it. Leon Franklin, nice job getting in the end zone there. And that's the big hogs up front. Look at everybody move, creating a new line of scrimmage, and then Leon Hall gets and turns his legs.
Atterbury.
Look at Atterbury. I don't know, man. His helmet might be a little loose.
I think he likes the TV. He's got the haircut, the TV.
You gotta get the TV time. I'm sure he goes to Off the Top Barbershop. It's the best barbershop in town.
That's right.
You know, I was leaving the barbershop yesterday, Off the Top Barbershop in Ypsilanti, Ann Arbor area, where a lot of the players go. And I got a chance to see Zach Center. I said, hey, big fella, come get a haircut, get all cleaned up. I said, you all right? You know, he says, recovery's going well, got surgery after the season. He says he's going to be the biggest cheerleader. He says he's going to, all the sellies are going to be choreographed by him. So I'm sure that he had a hand in making sure that celebration went well.
It's a great culture, man. Everybody's celebrating and rooting on their teammates. And another guy that was a great leader, great part of that defense last year is Mike Sainristil. Let's kick it down to Brooke. He's down there with Sainristil.
Yeah, I'm glad I caught Mike, because Mike, you just ran into the end zone. You were trying to celebrate with your teammates. You got in on the celebration a little bit.
Yeah, I caught the back end of it. I just told him I had to get myself in there real quick.
This has to be so much fun for you. I mean, you decided to come back for your 5th season. Why was that important for you?
Just knowing that it was the best scenario for me, just because I played 1 year of defense. I knew that the best thing for me was to come back, get more experience, get more comfortable playing defense, just to be able to put more stuff on film and just, have more exposure to what it is I'm doing.
Yeah, I mean, you are not the only one on this team that has switched, from the offense to the defense. Your teammate, Amorion Walker, what sort of advice did you give him when he decided to make that switch?
Just letting him know that it's not going to come to him right away. It takes time. You just have to be patient. Just keep doing the little things, take things one day at a time. Trust the coaches. They do a great job with us, so trust the coaches, trust your technique, and just, at the end of the day, just play with effort, play with passion, and you'll be good.
All right, there's a lot of new faces, including your high school teammate, Josiah Stewart. Now, you claim to be the reason why, or one of the reasons why he came to Michigan. What was that like trying to recruit him to come here?
I just told him, like, you know, Josiah, like, we're on the path to winning the national championship. That's the goal this year. We've won 2 Big Ten championships back-to-back. And I told him, I'm like, you come be a part of a winning program and help us win, not just be a part of the team, but help us win. Like, he was a great player back at Coastal Carolina. So I told him, just come here, come get great, coached by great coaches, and it'll help your path to the NFL. And then, you know, we talked to him more and more, and every day he was just like, yeah, I really want to be there.
One great thing about spring games is that, you know, you get a first look at the new faces, including Josiah. What kind of player is Michigan getting in Josiah Stewart?
Tenacious player, a guy who plays relentless, plays physical, plays fast. You know, he's not afraid to make mistakes. People make mistakes. He just goes out there and gives everything he has.
All right, thank you so much. Stay warm.
Thank you, too.
Guys, back to you.
So we'll come back to that play. It was a nice double move by Freddie Moore. Again, we touched on him earlier in the broadcast, an early enrollee that's been making a name for himself, and certainly that's going to help his case. This is another early enrollee, Samaj Morgan. So, Dev, let's look at this replay. We saw the double move on the previous dive to Peyton O'Leary. Here he is at the bottom of your screen. You're going to see him shuffle down like he's running a curl route. Alex Orji's able to hang in there, and really a nice throw over the safety, R.J. Moten.
Remember, I talked about it. He's going to have some of these opportunities down the field because they're looking at him as kind of more of a run threat at the quarterback position. But I talked about earlier, he has developed as a passer, and you saw the kind of the residue of his development right there. That's an outstanding throw up the left sideline. And Samaj Moore got a chance on the jet sweep. Something that I think they're going to be able to do with Samaj Moore, his ability to move with the ball and kind of create plays because of his athletic ability. Samaj Morgan is an outstanding athlete. Played at West Bloomfield last year, and I went to go see him play a couple times in high school. He is a dynamic athlete, and they're going to try to get him the ball. He's in here late in the game. I think he's going to have some opportunities here.
Ben Hall's having quite the day, too.
Yes,
that's Ben Hall again. He pushing the pile, making nice cuts. So strong in there. Another 8-yard run to move the chains.
So we aren't coaches or anything, right? We know ball, though.
Right.
And we've watched all the running backs to this point, I would say, right? Ben Hall,
like Ben Hall?
I think he's through for me right now. I like Ben Hall. I mean, I'm not, I saw it from the very first carry. I want to put that out there. The very first carry, I said, I don't know. That's the first carry. It looks pretty good. But he's been outstanding today. Not a catch. But how about that throw?
Got a great game here in Ann Arbor, but make sure you stick with us because coming up, we have Big Ten softball as the Wolverines face the Huskers. That'll be next on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app.
We're really getting a chance to see Alex Orji open it up a little bit. Another great outside throw where he
great location.
Doesn't have a lot of space. He drops it right on the hand of Samaj Morgan. He tries to go with one and isn't able to pull it in while he holds the defender off, but that is a nice throw.
It was Jaden McBurrows there, who's been having a nice game as well. As we're talking about that next cornerback slot. Jaden McBurrows, good job in coverage. And then there's Ben Hall once again. He looks great.
Patience. Man, when we take a, come on now, get up, big guy. Oh, no, he's just upset that he failed, didn't get in the end zone. Okay, we're good. Everybody at home, take a deep breath, relax. But take a look at this, right? He's going to get play side, pause, burst, right behind the offensive lineman. That's an outstanding job by Hall. We've seen burst. We've seen hit the hole quick. We've seen him have patience. Look at that change of direction and pace.
Boy, and a great job because Jeff Percy there at right tackle. Great movement on the down lineman, and then there goes Giovanni Alhadi pulling around. And what you could say with Michigan's offense, follow the polars. They'll take you to the football. Would love to play running back in this offense and create some nice holes.
Oh! Man, that's the level of like college football, because in high school, I guarantee you,
that's a touchdown.
That's a touchdown every single time for Alex Orji. But the pursuit and the never quit from the defense. Coach Minter has his defense flying around. They've been flying around all day. You can see the low-scoring game, but the ability to get lateral and make sure you catch such an outstanding athlete on the outside. Very nice job by Baines.
New face, too. That was Ernest Hausman that came all the way from the inside to finish off the tackle.
Yeah.
He's an interior linebacker. He read him and tracked him down, showing off some of that speed because we know how athletic Alex Orji is. looks like it's Derek Moore, who's, again, so many young guys. And this is what the spring game is about, right? We know who Blake Corum is. We know who Donovan Edwards is. But who are these young guys going to step up? Derek Moore, we've talked about him in the pass rush situation. Now that's a couple plays he's made in the run game situation. He's got the build to be a complete edge rusher for this Michigan defense.
And you know what I've liked? I've liked the versatility. That time you can kind of see him playing in that inside 3 technique, right? So he can play inside, he can play outside, he can take up double teams, he can rush the passer. We've seen his strength and his ability. I think that he's somebody like their new addition and Josiah Stewart, who can really help bolster that pass rush.
This is my favorite play.
You were always
this is my play right here. Yeah.
You were always the guy who's getting picked for it, and that's why you love it.
And welcome to Ann Arbor. A.J. Barner, by way of Indiana, gets a chance to celebrate with the fans, introduce himself.
He is tall, because that thing is kind of tall.
So you mentioned the bunch, Dev.
Yep.
Bunch means crossers.
Yep.
And they see man-to-man, so A.J. Barner, he's really got 3 guys picking for him, and all of a sudden he leaks off into the right flat, completely wide open. It's an easy completion.
When you're
easy
in the
touchdown.
huddle and you hear that play called and you know it's not for you, you're like, I cannot believe that he's about to get this easy touchdown. Nice job by Barner, because you could still drop it. Right?
Good drop.
Look how tall he is, right? His head is at the top of the stadium. Jeez Louise.
Well, and I thought this was really interesting as I was doing some research on it. Who's this new guy? So for the Michigan fans that are wondering, who is A.J. Barner? What type of player are we going to get? So he comes over from Indiana, where Tom Allen is his head coach. And Tom Allen had this to say about him. First off, he complimented his blocking. So he can do both, and he'll replace Schoonmaker in that role. But what he said that was really high praise was he thought A.J. Barner, had he stayed at Indiana, had the chance to be the best tight end to have ever came through Indiana. Didn't have the production necessarily last year. Wasn't a successful season by Indiana standards. But when you hear those comments and that praise from a head coach, should give you some confidence and some excitement to have him here in the maize and blue.
100%. We've seen him make a few plays today, and that size, right? When we've seen him catch it up the seam, that big size is hard to get around you when you're a defensive back, and then we see him there getting picked for an easy play, but a play that some can drop or whatever. Nice play by Barner, and I think, like you said, he's going to be a big addition to that tight end room.
Let's take it down to Brooke. She's got more on A.J. Barner.
Yeah, guys, last year when IU played Michigan, he wasn't able to play due to an injury, but he reflected back on that game when he was deciding where to go next. And he saw the success that Luke Schoonmaker had in that game. 9 receptions, 67 yards, a touchdown, and recognized playing for the Wolverines could really help prepare him for the next level. He just loves that they care about football here and the tradition and what comes with being a Michigan football player. And that's something he wanted to be a part of.
Brooke, I think that's great what you just said, because one phrase, and Harbaugh has a lot of Harbaughisms, but one phrase he used to say is a rising tide raises all ships. So when you have the success Michigan has had at that tight end position, that's a rising tide. You're able to then recruit more ships to your arsenal. Same thing with the edge. You mentioned Josiah Stewart, number 5 here on the edge for the blue defense. So much success developing edge rushers that you're able to sell, especially in the world of the transfer portal, to get more talent and replenish your roster.
Jake, you put that so eloquently. Are you a bit of a philosophizer?
I read every now and then.
Oh my goodness, that was so, you're such a big strapping, you're a blocker and tight end, you're rough hand in the dirt. But that was so gentle and so well put. Very good.
You're right. You gotta kind of you gotta get your hand in the dirt, but
so multidimensional, so talented.
Thanks, Dev. Coming from you?
Thank you.
Some philosophy?
I dabble. Hey, anytime a voice gets really, really high when he says something, it's probably untrue.
Yeah.
Probably embellishing a little bit.
You're a man of many talents, though. That's the truth. Karaoke? I know you're a good karaoke guy, right?
No,
yeah, you're a good karaoke guy.
Oh,
you more than that.
All the way you look at me. All right, that's enough. That's enough for today, guys. That's enough for today. I'm here till Thursday. It's okay.
All right, let's set the table here. Under 4 minutes left. Maize down 7 to blue.
It's winning time, right?
It's winning time, like you said earlier.
And Davis Warren has an opportunity, right? This is where you become the backup quarterback for sure. This is where you solidify yourself when you drive this team down and you tie the game. And I'm sure it's not going to be a tie. They're probably going to go for it and try to win it. Fourth down, right? So you know you see him play like that on 3rd and 5. In this situation, you know it's probably going to be something you go for on 4th down, right? So it's 4th and short now. I think that Davis Warren could get on the edge, right? He's shown the ability to move on the edge and make plays. So when he drops back, if he doesn't see anything, I wouldn't be surprised if I saw him move around a bit and try to make a play, maybe even go pick it up with his legs.
And his favorite target on the day, Peyton O'Leary, down there at the bottom of your screen in coverage with Amarion Walker. Let's see if he goes back to him.
The Mays is 1 of 2 today on 4th down, 50%. Let's see if they can make it 2 of 3.
He got him. He got him.
Jeez. Another hole
There's
shot.
The crystal ball. We look right into it.
O'Leary's had a day, by the way.
He has.
O'Leary's had a day, but look at him. It's cover 2, right? So the corner's going to be in a flat. He's enticed by the out route, and then you put the ball outside. You have to pin the receiver against the sideline because you can see that safety is flying over there 100 miles an hour, and if you leave it inside at all, you're going to get your receiver killed, or it's going to be worse, an interception. Nice job by Davis Warren.
We call that a hole shot. You referred to it. Can you talk to us about what that hole shot is? To me, that's the most challenging throw in the system. Can you teach us about the hole shot?
Well, so the thing is, you have to do something to entice that corner so you can leave you some space between the corner and the safety. And like I said, pin him on the sideline. Got another move. Back shoulder. That's good ball there, baby. That is good ball. O'Leary,
here's his guy.
Welcome.
But there's a flag in the backfield.
I love it.
Back shoulder.
That is, and that's pass
That should have been
by
a
the way.
flag. Yeah.
And he goes and grabs that with his hands. Well, that's going to be a
Personal
lay
foul, roughing the passer, contact to the head, defense number 50. That 15-yard penalty is, of course, half the distance to the goal line and includes an automatic first down.
Davis Warren has shown so much courage, right? Yet again, he knows it's a double move. O'Leary goes, stutter, go. He knows he's going to get hit. He drives that ball with conviction and then takes the shot right above the shoulders. And then O'Leary. And you got to know that when that ball's coming out a little earlier, you have to adjust and know that you're throwing a back shoulder, right? He's not just throwing it up. He's throwing a back shoulder to make sure because the defensive back is over the top. Outstanding job by Davis Warren and O'Leary, and they got a little extra on top.
O'Leary's a guy that's been getting praise from his teammates for a long time, and you're really seeing why he has earned the respect of his colleagues, the chance to earn the respect of his teammates. He's been doing it in practice, and now we're getting a chance to see him do it in a spring game and in a big situation where Mays is trying to drive down and tie it up.
Timeout blue, you know, they want to win, right? They see the kind of writing on the wall. Maybe they might get in the end zone. They want to save some time for themselves, and they want to talk about this red zone opportunity that the Mays has. O'Leary, look, you see, O'Leary's going and talking with the coordinator for this game, and he's like, listen, we got to get you the ball because you seem to be unstoppable.
Shown some great hands, done it in press coverage, done it down the field, done it against pressure. It's been a nice game. He's probably been probably next to Ben Hall, one of the more bright spots for the Michigan football team.
Do we get to give out a player of the game? We can.
Who would you give?
We can create it, right?
Yeah.
Because we're the ones with the microphone.
Should we wait till the end, maybe, or?
Yeah, we should definitely wait till.
Or would you say Ben? But you looked into the crystal ball and called Ben Hall.
I called
early.
Ben from the very first snap, but O'Leary has been outstanding. So this is where I'm going with it, and let me know if you agree. If O'Leary catches a touchdown here or does something to get in the end zone to put his team up, we got to go O'Leary.
I'm with you.
But if not, right, it's got to be a good Hall. O'Leary has 6 receptions for 121 yards. It might still be O'Leary. All right, a little chess match going here. A little chess match. Let me see what you line up in. Okay, timeout. Let me see what you line up in the time. Okay, timeout. Okay. I love it.
All that being said, let's put him back Let's put him by himself, one-on-one on the backside.
I want to see why not. I want
to
to see Julian Edelman's Super Bowl slant route, but a whip, right?
Yeah,
you run that slant, then you whip back out. Let's see if you can win a true one-on-one for the game. Well, for close to the game. This is exciting.
Just a reminder for the viewers, the Michigan fans at home, stick with us after this game because we do have softball. The Michigan Wolverines taking on the Huskers. That'll be next on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. Okay, so they got O'Leary, but little respect from the defense. You see the safety there on the right. He's
look right to the right of your screen. You can see the safety over there, eyeing O'Leary, making sure he doesn't get that one-on-one opportunity.
That's respect.
That's all tech, man. I'm just telling you.
Oh, he's still going to him.
That's pass interference. I've ever seen it. What are you doing, Walker? You're a receiver. You know that's pass interference.
Yeah.
Put your arms down.
Yeah, you know.
Clearly pass interference. It's not even close. Let's take a look.
Let's see.
Hands on, and that's legal. But now you're like wrapped around, and the ball's nowhere near. It's clearly pass interference.
There's cameras.
It's cameras.
We got replays.
There's
we got you.
We got replays. The referee saw it initially. You know, nice try though. You know, he's gotten away with some hands, you know, in this game so far, but that one was very clear. So now fresh set of downs inside the 5-yard line. I bet you
to expand on that, but to expand on that though, Dev, he doesn't need to do that. As we're looking for him, he's so long and so athletic.
That's so true.
Trust yourself.
Yeah.
He was in position.
And the more reps he gets, as Leon Franklin gives the Mays a chance to, I would imagine, try to take the lead.
And he got a full head of steam.
How many pumps? Is going to be a penalty. 3 pump minimum, maximum.
Had some good celebrations today, but man, Leon Franklin.
Yeah, he's going back
got
on the
a chance to get some momentum there, and watch the inertia. Look at this, Dev.
Ooh, I like that.
Boom, boom.
Inertia.
Refuses to be stopped and punches it in. What a game we've had today.
Oh, this is nice. I mean, it started off a little slow.
And you caught it. We're going for 2, Dev.
Well, of course, right? You can't. You're trying to win the game. We're on top. 7 plays, 75-yard drive there. I mean, that's a nice job by Davis Warren. Remember, I talked about it. And he had some very important plays on that drive, throws to put them in position to even have this chance to go for 2 and go up on the blue team. O'Leary, top of your screen, one-on-one. It looks like safety help. I think the safety's either coming or he's going to kick to the middle.
This is awesome.
Second charge,
They're calling
team timeout at the half.
My heart rate's going up a little bit. I'm excited to see what they got
Like,
here.
it's been cold up here all day. I'm like warm now. Like, I'm good to go. Ish. I think I'm taking it a little too far, Jake. I'm still a little cold. I think I took it too far. I took it way too far.
We need
it's
the hand
not that
warmers.
much intensity. I am a little bit cold still, but this is really good football. I love that it means so much to the coaches, to the players on the field, and that's what you want to see when you're on television and you're playing football. I can't believe I said I wasn't cold, Jake. That's not true.
Yeah, no, I'm cold.
It's not true at all. Your hands are freezing.
Yeah,
right?
I'm chilly. And I was the guy, I never wore sleeves. I'm chilly.
And I didn't like it. Jake, where are your sleeves? What are you doing? I was sleeve on top of sleeve guy.
Well, I remember my freshman year, we were on the road at Iowa, and it was like -8 wind chill. Remember that? And I tried to come out in sleeves, and Lawan was like, "What are you doing? Take this off, dude. You're part of the whole line."
I don't like it. I went out and tried to warm up with gloves on, and my gloves froze. And when I went back in, it was terrible.
That's cold. Big 2-point play.
Larry down the bottom of the screen, one-on-one. Safety's coming. He's going to have an opportunity here. I would think slant, right? I would think slant with the slot guy coming out so we can have that whole back the end zone to run.
I'm thinking potential sprint out down to the bottom of your screen. Or a fake. Just get the ball to him.
MVP!
Look at the whole sideline coming to celebrate with them.
I mean,
yeah, that's MVP. That's
this
MVP.
guy's been, I mean, now the game's still going now. We got 144 to go, and the Blue get the ball and have an opportunity. But this O'Leary kid has been outstanding today.
We talk so much about, Darius Clemens, some of the younger guys, Samaj Morgan.
It's been O'Leary's show.
It's been O'Leary, though.
And obviously, this won't count towards the stats. He's going to finish with 121, but this is huge. Just a game winner, right? The touchdown was fine. This is a game winner. And how about the ability to make combat catches, right? Catches with guys hanging all over you. He's done that a number of different times. He's caught the ones where he's wide open, but he's made some combat catches. He's done a very nice job. And Davis Warren, we talked about it. This could solidify you as the number 2, where you're going to drive down, get an opportunity to go put this ball in the end zone, and the coaches are going to remember during winning times, you were able to drive your team down and put them in position, and he finished it with that 2-point play.
I might make a prediction for this season. I think we're going to see 81, especially with the way the schedule falls out. I think they give him some opportunities early in the season with the chance to prove himself.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that he's definitely going to have some opportunities.
He's earned it, man. I've heard his name for a number of years in a row. A guy that's he started on scout team. He's worked his way up, and now in the spring game, as there's questions who's going to replace Ronnie Bell in some of this receiver production.
And he's another one of those guys, you see this a lot now. He's originally a commit to UMass to play lacrosse. right? And so what is it about the lacrosse player that has all these unique skills and allows you, Hogan, remember
Chris
him?
Hogan, yeah.
And it allows you to do all these things and be so successful on the football field. I mean, you've seen it over and over again, and O'Leary is just the latest.
I always find playing multiple sports benefits playing football, because lacrosse, it's quick, it's agility, it's quick burst, and that's route running, right? It's reactionary. I was a soccer player growing up. I found that helped me get in and out of my breaks much more quick, and he's just really put together a complete game today, Peyton O'Leary.
And so we're sitting here and we're like, man, he's so savvy as a route runner. He knows where to be. His father was a quarterback.
There you go.
At Northwestern. So there it goes. That's why he knows exactly where he needs to be, accompanied with those multiple skills that he gets from other sports like you just talked about. I think that those are things that are really helping him, and it's led him to an opportunity.
All right, Jack Tuttle back in at quarterback for the blue team. So they're saying Jack Tuttle, they want a chance to see him operate in the 2-minute situation. Again, it's him and Davis Warren competing for that backup spot. Obviously, blue team down 1. Clock is ticking. They have 1 timeout left. They're going to give Jack Tuttle the chance to operate this Michigan 2-minute offense.
His coaches are licking their chops. It was an opportunity to see this guy play this area. I mean, it's incomplete, but as far as Jack Tuttle goes,
put it on him.
I like the throw. I like the decision. He drives that ball in a safe spot so he can protect himself. I think that ball has to be called.
Yeah, and that's an early enrollee. Another guy, Zach Marshall, who he's gained some praise from his teammates. He's gained some praise from his coaches, but he's young.
Yes, young and a little thin.
You'll make that play as time passes.
On a more thin side, he's only 220 pounds.
But a big tight end, you got to go over the middle.
You got to make that play, especially in this situation, right?
All right, 3rd down. Understand it's 4-down territory. You don't have to get it all. Let's see.
The blue team is challenging. If that last play there was defensive pass interference, that play is under.
I think it's a bad challenge. I think it's a bad challenge because I think it was a bang, bang. They hit at the same time. But like we talked about, it means something. The coaches are like, no, we need to challenge. And obviously, they open up the ability to challenge similar to the XFL and the USFL where you're going to allow. I don't know. I would say that's not pass interference.
To me, it's not pass interference either, yeah.
I think it's a good play. And that's Berry making the play. Zeke Berry, who's been outstanding today. He's been a guy that's come down. He's lowered the boom. He's done a good job in the defensive pass game. I think he's made a name for himself at that safety position as well.
I just love that we have challenges. It's a spring game.
We just challenged the pass interference, Jake. What is going on? Are we in the Twilight Zone?
One thing I know about Coach Harbaugh is he loves competition.
I know,
Everything is a competition.
And that's why those
everything's ranked.
And I'm sure he told the coaches you can challenge anything when it's winning time. You can challenge whatever you want, and I think they're going to stick with the call. No pass interference.
Because the challenge was unsuccessful, the blue team has charged their 3rd and final timeout. They are out of timeouts for the rest of the ball game.
That's an important point.
So that's why I didn't like it, right? Because you're going to lose it, right? And then you're going to lose your timeout as well. And so now this makes it increasingly difficult for Tuttle. You got to make sure that these throws are outside or first downs, right? First down, stop the clock for a moment to move the change. Out of bounds or incomplete pass, stop the clock for until it's first down. So that right there. And I think that's a good play because he's not going to get the first down. He's going to get tackled before the first down and in bounds, so you're going to lose a lot of time. So you'll sacrifice 3 or 4 yards for the clock to be stopped so you can get a good play in and try to convert on this 4th down opportunity.
4th down, big down. Here's what I'm hoping for, Dev. One of the holes we haven't talked about is replacing Jake Moody. So I'd love to see him convert it. I'd love to see the blue team get down to the 30-yard line. And I'd love to see who's next up to see if they can replace Jake Moody. Got a flag down, clearly a sack. We'll see if this is on the Mays team to keep the blue team's hopes alive.
Offside, defense number 56 in the neutral zone at the snap. 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
And you talked about losing Jake Moody, who was an All-American, an amazing player, as we take a look at the offside penalty in this free play. Tuttle, get that ball out of your hands. Look, it's getting dangerous down there. But Tommy Doman, I think he's the guy that they're going to lean on in that field kicking duty. He was a former Under Armour All-American, right? And that's a special thing out of high school. He's from Orchard Lake St. Mary's here in Michigan. So I think he's going to get his opportunity if they can find a way to get down the field and convert on this fourth down.
Well, it's on all or nothing here, 4th and 2. It looks like May's team is bringing some heat.
You got pressure from the field. You want to try to maybe get this ball to Samaj Morgan. He's the uncovered receiver.
Wow, great job triggering. That is a great job triggering. I think that's Harris, yeah. Guy's a walk-on, but he constantly gets mentioned. Yeah, he walk-on, got the walk-off. That's right.
He got the walk-off. PBU, and they call that a pass breakup.
But this is a great job because we all saw it. Mays is bringing the pressure, so Harris is sitting there and saying, hey, this ball's going to be out now. He didn't blink. Triggers on it, almost had a pick, but he'll take the PBU, and looks like Mays team's eating steaks, baby.
Jake, we got a walk-on who just got the walk-off.
I like that.
Oh, I like that. That's good. That's good stuff. It's good.
And the greatest play in all of football, Dev, is the victory formation.
Oh, gotta love it. Gotta love it. Davis Warren's gonna walk away from this game extremely happy. And you know something else, Jake? J.J. McCarthy got his first win in the spring game. Got his first win. Him and Davis Warren are gonna be very happy. And in comes Declan Bile. Call him Mike Winchell, wearing the number 20 for the Mays. He's going to finish this game off with the snap, which is very important. Another walk-on, right? But he was chosen to come in and take the snap. How about that out of Catholic Central? Declan Bile, or Mike Winchell. Remember Mike Winchell? Friday Night Lights. This has got to be special for him, right? A guy who came in last year as a walk-on and started to dress midway through the season because he was performing so well in those opportunities he got in practice in those proven periods, and now he gets to take the final snap in the Michigan spring game. Outstanding.
Well, listen, man, I'll tell you what a great spring game we had out there today. A little back and forth. Wasn't always clean, but we saw some guys shine. Peyton O'Leary, Ben Hall, Dev.
Who's your MVP?
Can we say MVP to me? It's got to be Peyton O'Leary with what he did.
I think to you, to me, to Brooke, to everybody watching, Peyton O'Leary came. He showed out. He did an outstanding
Honorable
job.
mention, Benjamin Hall, a number of other, Jaden McBurrows on defense. They did a great job, but thanks to our crew back in Chicago, I'm Jake Butt, Devin Gardner, Brooke Fletcher down on the sideline with the interviews. We had some former Michigan players, of course, a back-and-forth game. Mays team comes out on top with the win.
Somebody's going to be eating steaks. Somebody's going to be eating dogs.
All right, we're going to kick it to softball next on Big Ten Network. Thank you guys for tuning in for Michigan football spring game.